Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. That was very bizarre. We could hear some people chit-chatting their way through the intro there. So I've muted them, bloody little buggers.
There
I hope
was
you're
no
all well.
intro.
Was there not?
No, that's what we're sitting here
Nope.
going.
Well,
where's
you know
the
what?
intro?
We didn't see it on the screen, but it was in the
Oh,
YouTube.
StreamYard effing up again?
Yeah, it was StreamYard, dude. That's why we were
Oh,
talking.
you messing! Ah, goodness me! Right. Well, anyway, apparently you've all seen the intro, but we all haven't. I have, but these guys haven't. What the fuck?
Apologies.
Anyway, welcome, ladies and gents, to HCast episode 8. We're here to talk about all the big news. We've got Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania reviews. Is the Marvel shills out in force? Is Marvel Phase 5 a dud already, or at least the start of it? Maybe. The reviews are middling, I guess. They're a bit half and half. We've got to talk about Constantine 2, binned off, done, up the wazoo. Also, some other terrible DC news, as if that wasn't bad enough. But Ezra Miller might be sticking around. I mean, that is real bad. Real bad. And, of course, some other bits and pieces to cover as well. So, as always, joining me is the co-host of the HCast, Paulie, from the Latino slant. Don't get it twisted. That's not the Latinx slant.
No. But I would imagine Eva Green and Ezra Miller would call it the Latinx slant. They're hanging out. She's like, Latinx!
You fucking don't start with that shit. Okay.
Hey, every time you mention it, I'm going to throw some French on there.
You'll start coming out with a gay Jedi as well.
Ooh. Good to see everybody. Make sure you are subscribed.
Is that a lightsaber in your pocket, or you're just happy to see me, Sailor?
Hello, Steffler.
And then, of course,
smash the like.
Tom.
Smash it.
Tom Connors from Midnight After Dark. How are you?
I'm here. How are you guys doing?
Good. Apparently with bizarre StreamYard issues, which is...
Yes. Well, before it was people weren't hearing the audio. Like we had for like a week where people are like, your intro music's not playing, but we see the video, and you'd go back and check, and sure as shit, the video would play, but no music. So I messaged StreamYard about it, and they're like, yeah, we're working on the problem. They fixed that, so now they must have another bug in the system. So
very irritating. They've been adding lots of new features. I see the adverts on YouTube all the time, and I'm like, I'm paying for this, and it's not working, so fix it. But anyway, ladies and gents, this is the HCast. We have a channel dedicated to this. You can see it linked in the description box. Missed H Reviews Live Archives. Head on over there, hit subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. Reason being, these streams are 2.5 hours, sometimes 3. And, I appreciate not everyone can watch them all. So I clip them into the best bits, which you can find over there on that channel, as well as the full episodes as well. So they don't stay on the main channel anymore. They go over there to that channel into a playlist. So, do hit subscribe. As well as everyone else's channel. You'll see a few other individuals rocking into this stream as we get going. You'll find everyone's channel linked down below. So, ladies and gents, you want to support this? Super chats. Super chats are a really, really good way to do that. Always, it does help the channel out, basically, big time. So, just messing with some things behind the scenes here briefly to apologize. But our first topic of the day is going to be our great, grandiose Ant-Man and the Wasp. So this is Marvel's Phase 5 beginner. Anti-Man. Oh, God. Okay, yeah. Anti-Man and the Wasp. So this is Marvel's Phase 5, the beginning of Marvel Phase 5. So I don't understand why it's so difficult to say today. And obviously the first reactions are coming out because it had its world premiere yesterday. That was in Hollywood, I believe. I'm pretty certain it was in Hollywood anyway. And interestingly, the review embargo is 3 days before the film's release, which is, it's not like, it's kind of one of those things that you go like, oh, okay, when it's really, really close to the film's release, it does tend to be a bad sign. It's not always indicative of that, and that is important to note. But I think what is important to note is, Marvel hasn't been doing great when it comes to their films lately. You know, they haven't had the best reaction to a lot of their films, and this seems to be middling. You know, it's kind of mixed. It's not overwhelmingly positive. It's not overwhelmingly negative either. And this article just has a few which we'll sort of go through. But first things first, is this a film that you're looking forward to, Paulie? Do you care about this? I think you said already, due to, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but due to Black Panther, you couldn't give a shit about this.
Yeah, pretty much. So that would be no. Not looking forward to it. Not planning to go.
Straight up no.
Straight up. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Tom, I know you don't like venturing out your house because you live in, I think, and I quote, "butt fuck nowhere." I think. Was what you said.
Yeah. I think it's late enough in the stream. You can say that now.
So yeah, I'm aware you don't like leaving your house very often. Will you be leaving to go and watch this?
I've been on the fence about it. I mean, I really haven't seen, if you don't count Spider-Man No Way Home, I mean, I went to see Thor and Doctor Strange. So, I mean, like, I haven't gone to see one that I've wanted to see since Spider-Man. So, I mean, I may take it in just because, you know, we always end up talking about these movies at nausea. But I didn't go see Wakanda Forever, or Eternals, or Shang-Chi. And I didn't really feel like I missed out on anything either. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, I'll wait and see what some of my friends say. Like, you know, people we know here, you know, Chris Gore and other people, if they like it, maybe I'll go check it out. But other than that,
not even my opinion. You don't care about.
Well, if you get to see it ahead of time and you say you like it, then I'll take that into consideration. Yeah,
I will. There's very few films I get to see ahead of time nowadays.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
It's very, so if you don't know, that's very insular. Hollywood's very insular. They're very, if you're in Hollywood, you might get to see it in Hollywood. But if you're outside, screeners are few and far between.
Very rarely, yeah.
Yeah. It's
especially for something like this, I can understand. So yeah, like, I mean, but that's the thing, is if I don't go see it like opening night, unless it's something I personally want to see, the chances of me going to see it after opening night are slim to none then.
Wow.
Then, it's like,
what's you said you're on the fence. Like, what would teeter you to go?
A much better trailer.
Paul Rudd, I mean, Paul Rudd.
Let me see what Bill Murray's up to, if he's going to be in it for more than 5 minutes.
Right.
Entice me into the theater. Yeah, exactly. I know he's not gonna, and I have nothing like this bad guy Kang. I hated him in Loki, so I'm not.
Different version.
I get it, but the whole thing, I think. Yeah, it's the same actor, but my whole thing is just the whole idea of the whole thing, what they're going for here. I'm just not a fan. Not a big fan of the multiverse shit anyway, so.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, so from my personal opinion, like, and I did this when the trailer released, I just said and I think we've discussed it here, there's absolutely nothing which differentiates the aesthetic of the quantum realm with the cosmic realm. It all looks the bloody same. And there's a certain element of creative bankruptcy due to that design element. And there's no stakes with that, you know, like the beauty of Ant-Man was seeing him interact with real life objects, whether he's large or small. Now in the quantum realm, it means nothing because these are not objects. He's not interacting with anything that we know, that we see, that's tangible, that we can go, you know, I use that kind of bath. I sit in there. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing.
No, absolutely. I get, and that's what I didn't care for so much out of the second film, is it took us out of, you know, that was what I loved about the first movie. And I said it was one of the better 3D experiences because like you said, you had all the real world stuff, you know, the scale of that normally. So, you know, you can, in your head, your mind, you know what you're looking at. And it looks really cool to see him, you know, playing through the bathtub scene and all that kind of stuff in the first movie was really neat in 3D. The second movie was a lot of Fugazi weird stuff, like Doctor Strange, same kind of thing. Yeah, it looked kind of neat to look at with colors and stuff, but there's no real sense of it. Yeah, it's just kind of.
What's a Fugazi?
It means nothing.
What's a Fugazi?
It's the same thing, only if you're gay.
I was trying to do a scene from Donnie Brasco with you, man.
You know how long it's been since I've seen that movie?
You're trying to do yeah. I like that film. Donnie Brasco is great.
It's a good movie. Yeah,
love that film.
Great film.
Actually, I have both versions of it too. Now that I think about it,
Fugazi. It's Fugazi.
Well, let's have a look at the social media reactions. Now, I can pick up on because these are the first reviews, right?
I'm just being.
Yeah, I know you're being an ass. So,
and some of the guys that were the first to come out, with what do you call it, the Black Panther movie earlier.
Yeah,
I see the same Jokers coming out right now.
Well, exactly. This is the thing, isn't it? You're right. So, this is why I always enjoy doing this. I always enjoy doing it. I always have done. I always find it fascinating. But there is one or two surprises in here, right? And you tell me what surprises you. So Eric Davis says, Phase 5 has begun. Yeah, circle jerk. The new Ant-Man movie is like a psychedelic roller coaster.
About to rack.
Full of frightening and hilarious oddities. +1. Very menacing Kang. Big Star Wars vibes. Meet the MCU at its freakiest and most inventive. MODOK is a riot, but Jonathan Majors conquers. Loved the ride.
I'm sorry, when you said that about Star Wars vibes, something came up. I almost hurled. I almost hurled.
Be on camera. I know I said be on camera more, but if you're going to vomit, quickly just flick it off, all right?
All right.
So Eric Davis continues, says, definitely make sure you stay for the credits because there are significant things to see. There's 2 post-credit scenes, by the way, ladies and gents. I really dug how Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is both a part 1 of Phase 5, but also a self-contained Ant-Man story that's funny and sweet and features a kick-ass Michelle Pfeiffer. Good stuff. Yeah, it's very... I mean, this is what I expect. This is the expectant review, right? And then we move on
That's not a review, man. That's not a review.
No, it's a reaction. It's the same thing. It's giving an opinion. I always say these are initial reviews. They absolutely are.
It's a paid opinion.
All right. Whoa, you calling Eric Davis a shill? Oh,
I don't even know who the fuck he is, man. Oh, sorry.
Anyway,
all I know is let me just say some insight to some of these bozos. They go on and do all this stuff on Twitter, and they're the things, and they got all the followers and the likes. And then you see these clowns at a Comic-Con, and they're doing a panel on some Wokoso thing, and they got 2 people in the damn room, where we go do a thing, and it's sold out. So what up?
Wow, Paulie's spitting hard.
Nah, man, I'm just like, I do not care. I do not care. These. I mean, how can anyone legitimately be excited like this for this?
Well, exactly. I mean, this is the thing with respect to Marvel at the moment. They have to go really balls to the wall to get people excited again, and you'll see something that comes through with this is that on this review especially, had a blast of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Paul Rudd has never been better, and Jonathan Majors effortlessly conquers every second of screen time he gets. There's a very big focus on Jonathan Majors' villain in every single review. Now, some people would say that that's the paid element of these reviews, the talking point that's given, and that may genuinely be the case. I will say this is that it's not uncommon for people to talk about a new villain, though, but there does seem to be a trend with this. So we shall see. So again, we sort of covered that anyway. They say, how beautifully strange and mysterious the MCU still is. Had an absolute blast watching Ant-Man. Creative, irresistibly energetic, and filled with some great action sequences. Welcome, Jonathan Majors, such a badass. The effects are superb. I mean, I disagree. The effects we've seen in the trailers haven't been that great. And Marvel effects haven't been good for years now. In fact, they've been atrocious for years. So, sure, if that's a low bar for good effects. They've been terrible for a while.
So far, nothing really about the story yet, though.
Well, no, so someone did say here,
okay.
But the real star of the film is Jeff Loveness's script. So, yeah, I washed over that just to sort of move past, but that wasn't intentional to hide that part. Stephen Weintraub, Frosty Collider. Oh, yes, or whatever it is now. Oh, yeah, it's still Collider. Marvel's Ant-Man is a strong start to Phase 5. Oh, yeah, just like Dark Fate was the best movie since Terminator 2. Oh yeah.
Strong
start. Strong start to phase 5, is it? I mean, it's the
loud
start.
music and effects.
Yeah. I now understand why it's called Quantumania. Jonathan, fucking explain then, dickhead. Jonathan Majors is excellent as Kang. I cannot wait to see where this all goes. 2 after the credit scenes, and both are very good.
I wonder if that one review is on here that said something like, you have to take this movie as a bigger whole and not part of the end of another trilogy, but the beginning of a new. And I'm like, no, that's not how movies are supposed to work. I wish I had that review specifically up, but it's like making excuses for the film. I'm like, no, you can't just sit here and say the movie only works with everything else around it. It has to work on its own too. And that's a big overall cloud over the Marvel universe right now, is they've gotten so deep into this thing that you're lost if you haven't seen some of this shit.
Well, exactly. This is the interconnected element that is becoming their downfall, you know. But this is this. Well, I'm not. So
Marvel's got me in a bad mood. I got to tell you, man, I'm just a bad effing mood with Marvel.
Scott Mendelson.
How the hell can Black Panther 2 get 5 Academy Award
Mendelson, what is this about here?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Scott Mendelson. My son changed his mind at the last minute.
Did he hit his head?
And skipped seeing Ant-Man and the Wasp tonight. He sadly had the right idea.
Ouch.
That was the surprise.
Is somebody
that was a surprise?
Is somebody got some blackmail on Scotty? I mean,
maybe
I think someone's not paying Scotty anymore.
There you go. Maybe that's it. I couldn't believe that. Maybe I was just like, oh, he was not shilling just out of pure principle. I mean,
no, what it is that he reached down and remembinned he had a pair. Tell it like it is.
No.
Come on. I don't know if I'd go that far, Paulie.
He was binned off from.
I get what you're saying, but
he was binned off from a lot of his what he was working for, wasn't he? He was completely. Yeah.
I don't know the whole story behind the scenes, but he's only at the Wrap now. Yeah, he used to be at what the hell was that more prestigious paper? Forbes. Yeah.
Mm.
And stuff like that. So like, I don't know what his situation is now, but he blocked me like 2-3 weeks ago. And it was just funny because they made a big deal about it, which is weird because I've been giving him shit for years, like years and years and years and years have I been giving him shit. And finally, all of a sudden, just out of the blue, he decides he's going to block me. It's like, okay, I must have really hit a chord with him too. Cause I didn't even come at him that hard. I don't even remember what it was all about. I did a video about, or a show about it way back when, but
there is one. Oh, go ahead. I'll wait.
So there's this.
I'll wait. I'll wait. Just put me in my place.
Wait, we need to get through some of this so we can round it up. So Ant-Man and the Wasp is a lot of things: loud, supersized, and constantly dialed up to 11. Too bad so little of it feels new, visually creative, or just plain interesting. Not even Jonathan Majors can save this hollow, repetitive exercise in weird stuff happening. I mean, that is a brutal review.
That is
brutal. We have this one. Ant-Man is such a fun way to kick off Phase 5.
It's fun.
By comparison to what? Joseph Deckelmeyer?
What kicked off Phase 4?
I literally have no idea. It all blends into one lump of crap.
Shit. What was it?
Anyone in the chat?
I don't even remember now. I'm trying to remember. It was whatever was after Endgame. Was it?
I literally have no idea. Was it not?
Black Widow?
Ant-Man 2 and no, because Ant-Man 2 and Captain Marvel came out between.
Everyone's saying
was
Black
it the
Widow?
Second Spider-Man? It was the second Spider-Man movie. I think Iron Wolf is right.
Second Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, the second one.
Oh God, that was years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think so. Let me double check here, but.
Well, we have this one from Sean Keane. Ant-Man has way too much going on. It's tough to connect emotionally to any of it. Jonathan Majors Kang is a charismatic, intense baddie and visually awesome, but the threat he represents is too abstract. And again, February 14th is the embargo release date.
I guess it was Black Widow it began with. Okay.
After a frustratingly rough Act 1, Ant-Man finally gets going, only to end where this story should have began. While the external stakes are clear and weighty, emotional drive felt slight. and levity even lighter. That said, Jonathan Majors rules. Jonathan Majors is the talking point.
Oh, he's a great actor.
He is good actor.
That's the thing I was going to add. I absolutely love watching him and anything he does. But
there's certain words, a force, conquering, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's obviously positive. Every franchise has to get weird. MCU's done it. Ant-Man, blah, blah, blah. Jonathan Majors, endlessly compelling, etc. Scary and shocking game changer. There's nothing scary about the MCU. Sorry.
Changing the game.
That one. Yeah, I know. So we have all of this, and then I don't think there's too. There is some more on the old Twitterverse, as it were. So we have it here. Oh, there you go. Paulie from the Latino Slant. Give him a follow, everyone. Follow me too at Mistake Reviews. J-Buck, the greatest MCU of Phase 5. What? That Phase 5 that has just begun, you fucking pleb.
Yes.
Jared.
Are you sure he's not being facetious?
Well, he's got TikTok 420.
Sarcastic genius. Exactly. Look right there. Sarcastic genius. I think that's a joke. That was the joke.
I don't. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's the joke because everybody always says it's the best of the.
Oh, he says also I haven't watched it. Yeah, we got Rick rolled straight away.
I was gonna say I think we got Rick rolled a little. Yeah.
Not only the best movie of. Is this another one? This can't be another one. Is this another one? What? Not only the best MCU movie of Phase 5, but
this has got to be a fake. Yeah.
This has to be another fake. Really?
It clearly is.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, look. Click on his page. Maybe let's see what else he's done.
I don't know.
Content creator. Oh, okay.
I don't think that is a joke. I think that's maybe
no.
legitimate.
I think it's for real. I think it's just.
I think that is actually real. Yeah. Sad. Anyway, it's not wholly positive for sure.
Makes me wonder if they ruined the movie with the reshoots like we had heard.
Goat Simulator, love it. Yeah, well, true. Well, that was what you heard, wasn't it, Paulie? That they changed the ending, basically.
Huh?
No, I think we had reported that. Andre had heard it actually. When the news had come out that they were doing reshoots, and we were all asking what was going on at the last minute.
I'm pretty certain it was Paulie that told us that on a stream.
Was it you, Paulie?
Wasn't it you, Paulie? You were telling us that they changed the end.
Talking about Ezra?
No. Quantumania.
About the film we're talking about right now, Paulie, mate.
All right.
Come on.
I'm so
head in the game, son.
Oh, okay.
No, it was because I had fuck, man. Give me a break, dude.
I will not give you a break on that one.
Give me a break.
No. I will absolutely not.
This is the best movie ever of Phase 5.
Oh,
it's the first movie ever of Phase 5.
Right. So, yes, it was you that told us that they...
I am a content creator.
It was you that told us that they changed
it was
the
me,
ending, right?
But that same week, the company I was with was also on Midnight's Edge. So that's why Tom was because it was Chris Gore and myself. And actually, Andre DM'd me to ask me about that, Tom. So
I was gonna say I wasn't sure what all everybody was privy to that whole situation, but yeah, because we did some checking out of it too.
Yeah, basically we were with a Marvel employee who's in the rooms of all the kind of like behind the scenes docs that they do, whatever, and that's what he told us. He actually said they actually had a pretty good but dark ending.
Yeah, and then the studio came in and we were kind of speculating that maybe Bob Iger just wanted to put his, stamp on it or whatever, which sounded to be kind of the case. And what we had heard from our side of things was that the reshoots weren't helping anything. They were making shit worse. They were making it more like the old Marvel stuff. Because like you were saying, Paulie, Peyton had done a more darker, serious toned film, unlike the first two films, which were a bit more comedic, and they tried to add in some more Marvel comedy.
Oh,
so,
did I
the stuff that we were
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, chat. I did another F-bomb.
Did you really?
Mierd. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, the feedback from this person was that, you know, that's what they're doing. That's like they're really coming in at the, you know, at the last minute, literally, in a lot of these films, and changing a lot of these endings, and just what do you call it, by editing by committee or whatever.
Well, this is something we've heard about Kevin Feige in the past now a couple times. This is one of the more popular complaints about the MCU, is that they will at the last minute make a bunch of changes in the movie, and then the special effects have been shit.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, because they literally do special effects up to the wire.
So yeah, so this gentleman said that the cut before what we're going to see was actually pretty decent, pretty good. It was darker in tone, good adult ending, but then they went in there and jacked it up.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting, because if we take a look at, I'm literally just taking a look now. Like we're talking about this being the start of Phase 5, right? This is the big start of Phase 5, and I remember at each phase, each movie that was coming out, it was an event, right? Obviously, I had to lay the framework for this discussion piece right now, which is obviously the Ant-Man reviews, and this is relevant. Is that at each point you would look at, each phase, each movie that was coming out was an event. You had to be there day one, pretty much. It was there, right? It was this big thing. And if I'm looking at the trending tab on Twitter in the UK, this film is not trending. It is not trending. It is not being spoken about. Right. And this isn't just for me. This is just trending in general. Right. If I go to entertainment, for instance, it's not even in the top 10 of trending. And I think this is indicative of a larger problem that that Marvel has at this point in time, is that they are losing their audience. This is the start of Phase 5, the start of the Kang dynasty, or whatever the saga is. I don't bloody know. Multiverse saga, whatever. I don't know what part this is. This is the thing. I don't even know. Like, we knew that it was the Infinity War saga. Like, we knew that. What is the start of this? I don't even know. What is this starting? Do you know?
I don't even know what we're watching.
What?
Are you showing something on screen?
No.
Oh, no. Yeah, Paulie just confused me. To answer what I thought your question originally was, I don't know.
It's just a greater discussion on a whole about.
It's supposed to start two separate universes, is from what we had heard, and that was the multiverse and the cosmic verse, which was originally Phase 4 was supposed to be the cosmic verse, and then it became and it was just like a muddled mess. That it was kind of the multiverse, but not the saga itself. But it danced around with shit in there, and then now we're getting even more of that stuff. I thought we were getting to the end of it, so that's where I'm just like, I'm like, get me to the cosmic stuff. Get me past this multiverse stuff. I'd rather see the other thing.
Get me to the verse where you're actually like entertaining me.
That too. Well, that's why I was like trying to think more cohesive, because at least if they get to the cosmic, you've got the Fantastic Four, you've got these other things you can do stuff with, Silver Surfer and stuff like that. So like Galactus and so on. Like, there's things you can do here, but it just feels like they've lost their way somewhere along the way. Again, between the wokeness and piling on of the connected universes, I don't know what else to chalk it up to, but yeah.
Well, I think what it was a lot of people were genuinely done after Endgame. They started to see the elements that were being pushed in, because they happened prior to Endgame. Captain Marvel was prior to Endgame, and everyone got duped into watching it. It's really important, because it really sets stuff up for Endgame. You really need to watch it. So people did, really. And then they're like, "What the fuck was this? What? Like, what? Blatant lie. Cheers, Feigster."
Kind of like the second Ant-Man movie, like nothing tied into Endgame except for the end credits scene, and you're like, well, they could have put that at the end of at the end of the other film, and it's like, what the hell is this? This is, I didn't hate the second Ant-Man movie, but again, it felt more like with Captain Marvel, like, what about this am I supposed to get out of this that I'm missing here? And I did miss out on a large portion of the last few movies that came out last year, and I don't feel like I missed out on anything. I didn't see Shang-Chi. I didn't watch all of the Eternals. I've seen a few scenes of it, but enough of it to know that it's garbage.
That shit was boring, man. I fell asleep like it took me so long just to finish watching it, and I was like, I don't care about anything in this film.
I legitimately almost fell asleep in the theater that film. If it wasn't,
I bet
I could see why.
I promise you, if it wasn't for the popcorn, the drink, and the nachos that I had, all right, I would have fallen asleep. But because I did almost fall asleep at one point. Like I'd finished my food and I was sat there and I'm like, oh my God, like, because normally if it's a real bad film, I buy lots of food. So I've always got something to focus on if it starts to lose me, because I want to pay attention, you know, I want to give it a fair review. So I always try to have,
keeps you awake.
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. It keeps me busy. Keeps me busy doing something whilst I'm watching, you know, eat food, watch. Oh yeah, like I can stay. But I just finished and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, like it's still going. And at one point, it was just towards the end. I went, you know, as you sort of nod off and wake
Caught
back
yourself
up, like,
nodding off, yeah.
Damn. And everyone was sighing and huffing in the theater of what little people there were there. Oh God,
that's not a good sign.
It was so boring. Well, yeah, it was so
compared to something like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which came out like the year before or whatever it was, or whatever. People were walking out of that movie crying, and you could tell they were really into the movie throughout the whole thing, and it was, you know, it was a great experience. Same thing with Spider-Man. People were cheering and hooting and hollering and even getting up and stammering in some spots, you know, like when Andrew Garfield saved what's her face, MJ. The whole fucking theater just erupted.
There was a lot of eruption scenes in that movie, like, and then when the 3 Spider-Mans are doing their heroes swing, you know, oh, that was sick. That was sick. You know, and then we got this.
But again, this is the thing, isn't it? Where's the hype? Where's the interest? We're 10 days out, right? Because it releases the 17th or something like that.
There's like less interest for this than there was Avatar, but I mean,
oh my God, I can't believe you just said that.
Oh goodness, but
you actually gave Avatar a compliment. It's like a backhanded compliment.
No, at least I did see some Avatar stuff here and there. Like, there's very, very little.
This is true.
Well, and Avatar is making money. Is this thing going to make any money?
Well, seriously, what's the budget for this? Do we know what the budget is?
I think it's in the film? Let me look. I think it was $250.
I was gonna say it's got to be roughly.
Yeah, and that's before the reshoots.
I got a bad feeling about this, man.
Oh yeah,
Star Wars, guys. People in the chat, you think it's gonna make any scratch? What's going on?
Well, so as I said, Black Panther barely made money. Like that would have struggled to make money.
200 million is what they have here listed.
That movie didn't make any money. Put inflation in. Get out of here, man. Wakanda forever. It made no money.
No, it would have made some. Well, we're talking like millions, tens of millions, not a lot, but it would have made some money. Very, very minimal, but some money. It would have.
Nope. Don't believe the hype.
No.
Technically, if you think about it, I was going to say Wakanda Forever actually made less money than Doctor Strange.
Correct.
If you look at it.
But it made some money, is the point. What? You can't say it made no money. I'm happy to call it.
Why are you shilling for Wakanda, dude?
Fuck off. I hate that fucking film.
I'm going to have to lean with Paulie here that I'm not so sure it barely broke even, I'd say.
I'm just saying, man, for inflation and
because you figured $250 million budget and it only made 800 some million at the box office. They only get to keep roughly half that if they're lucky.
And you account 250 for marketing as well.
That's you got to add in. Yeah, I didn't even add that in. That's what I'm saying. I haven't even added in the marketing and all that stuff yet. So like, I don't think if they're lucky, they broke even, but that's about it. I mean, they're pushing the shit out of it on Disney Plus right now, and through the movie club and stuff like that in the video.
Yeah, maybe.
But
anyway,
I'm not saying it's going to lose money, but I'm not so sure it's necessarily anywhere near the making a bunch of money for them either.
Oh, yeah,
but also too, it's like you compare it to its first movie. You know, it was a huge.
It's an utter failure compared to the first film.
Huge failure. Absolutely
huge. Yeah.
So
monumental.
What about this? Okay, all right. We'll give you the high ground, whatever you call it. So is this movie going to make any money? What say you?
I don't think so. I think it's going to struggle because I think they're losing people with the thing is that there's nothing unique about this movie from anything else that we've seen recently. So like you've got the elements of the Doctor Strange stuff, right? So the multiverse realm all looks the aesthetical elements all looks the same. These movies are sold on the characters and actors playing them. Paul Rudd's not really a draw, but they're also sold on the aesthetic value as well. The wow factor, wow, what can we see here? Wow. Like Guardians of the Galaxy is sold on quite a few things. Charismatic Chris Pratt. You, of course, have the fact that they're in outer space, which was big wow at the time, and obviously the musical element and the fact that it was very different. This is same. From everything that we've seen recently, it's all the fucking same. So I don't think this is a draw. I think that's the reason why no one is talking about it. Again, the world premieres just happened, and it's not trending on Twitter in any of the tabs.
Nope,
in entertainment, in trending, for me, even for me, right? Like this is the stuff which I search for. It's not even trending for me. So that's indicative of literally no one talking about it, which isn't a good sign. So no, I don't think this will make money.
Someone said in the chat, Luis is a funny character. I mean, if they were smart, they would have the Luis multiverse. That would be the shit with the van of Cholos.
He needs his own show, period, right?
That's what I'm saying. But they're too afraid to like lean into that stereotype. It's like, all right, America Chavez.
Well, let's
name more America Chavez. There you go.
Well, Quantumania also has the baggage of, like Doctor Strange had the baggage of, if you did not see WandaVision, you're going to be completely freaking lost going into that. Are we going to have the same problem here with Quantumania if we haven't seen all of Loki? Because I only watched one episode. I know how it ended. I watched like bits of the last episode, and that's where I saw Kang before, and I'm just like, I'm not a big fan of this character. I don't get why we need this character now. We've already had this multiverse stuff now for how many films? And basically since the end of Endgame, because that's supposedly what started it all or whatever, but yeah,
that's true. That is true. So yeah, I don't think it's going to make any money.
As far as making money, none of the first two are the lower end of the Marvel films, so I don't see this doing any better. Add in the fatigue we're getting from Marvel right now. I'm not going to say there's a superhero fatigue, but there's definitely Marvel fatigue.
Yeah, I don't think there's. It's not about it's bad movie fatigue. It's same homogenous fatigue. That's what it is. It's what it comes down to.
And I want to find that fatigue. And I want to find that thing I had. If somebody has it, please send it to me. I had this and I lost it, but I had this it was a chart that came out during when Love and Thunder came out, and it showed the amount of stuff that we had in phase 1, 2, 3, and 4 in comparison. And as you could see in comparison, phase 4 had as much stuff in it as phase 1, 2, and 3 put together. So it's like we've had this excess of garbage from phase 4. And it's like, of all the things that we had in that phase, there's only 1 or 2 things you can really point at and say, oh, that was okay, compared to phase 1, 2, or 3, which was like maybe 1 or 2 things in all those phases that you would say weren't that great in comparison. Yeah. So again, it was more like quantity over quality in phase 4, basically.
I mean, I have such a fatigue over just what you said that I can't take it, guys. I cannot take any of this shit.
Wow.
It's just, I'm I'm so frustrated. I'm going to cry. It's like,
well, like I'll save your
tears. What is this? I'm supposed to be happy and excited about like the next thing. I mean, maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Maybe. But what else is there? Mr. H, tell me. What else is there? Come on, tell me. Give me something.
No. Go. Dry your eyes.
And I almost don't even consider Guardians of the Galaxy part of the broad Marvel universe anymore. They were almost like guest stars in the Endgame thing, and their stuff is still kind of off in its own
pocket universe. The last one anyway, so they're done.
You're on point.
Exactly.
And then James Gunn's leaving? Get out of here, man.
Yeah. Right. Well, ladies and gents, I'll save your tears, Paulie. We'll get it some super chats. And
let's see what the audience is saying. Yes.
Hello, audience.
Yeah. So if you guys want to join the conversation, save Paulie's tears, but also physically help keep the lights on here doing this show, please do the super chat function. Really good way to help the show out, or super stickers as well. They're always cool. So Fergal Kelly's dropped in here. This is actually going to be covered in our next topic, but it says, hey guys, do you think Gunn and co are afraid of Constantine, Joker, and Batman doing well in the Elseworlds, and in turn overshadowing DCU. So cancelled it and avoiding a 1-2-3 punch out. Now, although this is the next topic, we will cover that briefly here anyway. Is that this seems to be a recurring comment that came through on the video I did, is that people think that James Gunn's ego is so big he doesn't want star power. That's why he's going for all these obscure characters first, because he doesn't want any stars overshadowing him and his sort of presentation of DCU, which I can see that sort of train of thought. I'm not sure whether I 100% agree with it, but I can definitely see why people have come to that conclusion. I also think that ultimately, as someone who's coming in from a CEO perspective, who is establishing a brand new thing, trying to resurrect something from the ashes, I think it'd be naive to think that he's not somewhat concerned about the older elements overshadowing what he introduces. That's business. You would be concerned about previous things in any business overshadowing you and your implementation if you're the leader, because it would question why you were hired to begin with if your product or your plan of action doesn't overshadow everything, right? Like, that should be the front runner if you're now the CEO. So I definitely can see that train of thought. But guys, what do you think to that? Paulie?
Let Tommy go first.
All right, not Paulie.
I am kind of confused with this whole basically, because I thought Zaslav said flat out he doesn't want multiverses. He wants a cohesive DC universe. And for the most part, a lot of what James Gunn is doing right now feels like it's all tunneling towards that. So some of these other projects don't make any sense to me. Now, sure, I would love to see a Constantine 2. I know Andre's really upset that if this is rumor is true that it got killed.
Yeah. We'll cover that more in depth in a minute, but yeah.
Right. We'll get more into that in a minute. But like the Batman, I know you like it, Nate, but I look at it and go, why do we need it when we have this other thing going on? And Matt Reeves is not going to mix it in with the other things, so it's not going to, it's pointless. And you're right. Like you run the risk of something in the Elseworlds coming out that's being so much more interesting and better. And Joker's a great example. Look how that made everything in the DC universe look like shit, and that has caused a lot of the problems going forward. Because, as I've told you guys before about the whole Batman thing, the big point of contention was, it was never so much, are we going to do a part 2? What I was told was when Zaslav came in, he wanted a Joker 2 script ready to go because he was going to greenlight it right away. We saw that happen. Yeah. And when he came in, he said, we can do a Batman 2 maybe, but this is the stipulations. It's got to be shorter. You got to work on the Catwoman, the whole chemistry between those two, and it can't be as dark, right? We need to be able to sell toys. So that was kind of the whole stipulation going in for the Batman 2. And
Batman toy?
Yeah, you do. Yeah. But kids weren't buying them as much, I guess, was the problem was. So, and again, I've never said it wasn't happening. It's still happening, but
I'm not super old. How dare you, Tom?
Oh, you're as old as,
So I got 2
Pattinson anyway, probably.
I got a couple of news outlets.
But no, I just don't get it. So yeah.
I got a couple of news outlets confirming that Reeves and Constantine 2 is still happening.
We'll come on to that. It's a different topic. We've got to.
But yeah, so again, that one I can still carve off to the side, right? The ones that are confusing to me, and we maybe this will get us on some of the Ezra Miller discussion, is this whole pension and idea. And part of it I understand for 2 reasons. One, as Paulie's brought up many times, they're not going to sit there and fire somebody publicly who's in the alphabet community, because they haven't fired anybody publicly as far as the DC universe goes. None of them have.
That's true.
None of them have been. Only the actors themselves have commented, and the only thing that's come close to it is James Gunn has commented to Henry Cavill, right? And that was it. The Rock publicly made his announcement. Gal Gadot made a very strange public announcement, kind of making people question where she was sitting.
Well, that sort of made people question that she was still going to be in it, to be fair. It seemed very positive, but
it was kind of, there was people looking into it both ways, because it felt almost like her goodbye to the fans. At the same time, there were some people going, well, what is this about? That's true. And so again, I'm just speculating on that part. The whole thing with Ezra, I can see them trying that, and they said we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, when he's done with his recovery. To me, if they were so sincere about keeping him on, they would say something to that effect, I think. To me, that just tells me that they're not going to tell him while he's in rehab that he's no longer going to be the Flash going forward.
Well, I think it's also
I could be wrong.
Films coming out, which I get.
And again, you're right. They also have the film coming out and stuff like that. There's all kinds of things, but there's nothing Flash related coming up in the upcoming slate. Most of the slate after that cutoff point of those 2 projects all seems to be reboot material. So like, I'm still kind of in this boat of wait and see what happens here, because I think they're playing politics, and you can see that especially in James Gunn's answering with everything. He's not giving very straightforward answers with anything. You can read a lot into it. In fact, we've had how many dozens of stories written out of that press conference that nobody's been able to get in its full entirety, where people are interpreting several different things several different ways. So that's where I say you can read a lot of what you want to in a lot of his answers. But I don't disagree with Paulie on, the politics side of Ezra Miller. I just don't think they're ever going to publicly say anything to anybody about it. I mean, it'll just be one of those things that 5 years from now, they'll be like, oh yeah, when are we going to get another Flash movie?
Are we talking about Flash now? I have thoughts about that.
All of these things, but like as far as this multiverse thing in the DC universe, I don't see it being anything more than a cohesive one universe thing after Superman Legacy is what I'm trying to say. It's going to be all completely rebooted after that.
Well, what we're doing, Paulie, is just answering this super chat, and then we'll get on to other topics. So, do you think Gunn and Co. are afraid of Constantine, Joker, and Batman?
No, I am paying attention, but you're just all over the place right now.
I'm sorry.
And in turn, overshadowing DCU. So, cancelling it to avoid a 1-2-3 punch. Do you think Gunn has an ego in respect to the DCU slate, or not?
No. Before I looked it up, what I think is that if Constantine had indeed gone away, it's because they couldn't get Keanu in his schedule. And that's what it just sounds like right now. They're just having a hell of a time with this schedule. And that usually happens with the bigger stars. But I mean, of course they would want Keanu. Absolutely. Safran and Gunn are this seems like a very well-balanced team, from their track record. So yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably booked
we also
out
got to remember,
years, guys.
Yeah, we also got to remember a lot of these stories are going to be out before Superman Legacy, and that's why I said that. Like Joker 2 will be out here next year. The Batman 2 will be right out after Superman Legacy. So I mean, they're all kind of going to be done and over with right around that time. So I wonder how many Elseworlds projects we'll have going forward after that. That's my big question, I guess, is what I was getting to with my ramble, Paulie.
Well, that is true. That is true. So again, going back to super chats and people supporting the channel, we've got Al Humphreys with a £5 super sticker. Thank you so much. We also had Olaf Van S. Yeah, I did spot that. With a membership for 3 months, support level 1, and says, Nate and Paulie, did you get to admire Tom's TMNT action figure yet, made by Andy Masterson? No. Do you want to show us this?
I did see it. And thank you, Olaf. He's also our mod in the chat. Thank you, brother. And really fast before we get to the there's like over 300 people in the chat. There's only like 100 likes. Come on, guys, smash the like. It really helps. Really helps us.
I'll bring it up here. Cool. I'll just bring up a picture. It's better than me trying to show you on it.
I did see the picture. No, I saw a little bit of it. I was running around yesterday.
I was trying to show it yesterday, and it's just you can't see it on the camera thing.
Yeah.
Let me try.
I mean, he gave you a real like crazy looking beard. The sweatpants were funny.
Which is funny because I do wear a lot of sweatpants. Well, he dressed me like Casey Jones in TMNT. I'm trying to find the picture where it's the full body. I didn't have it ready here. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize.
That's all right.
We can come back.
Well, we got 6 with a $1.49 super sticker. Thank you so much, 6. Do appreciate it. Hope you're well. Hope everyone's well in the chat. Please do hit subscribe to the second channel. You'll find linked down below in the description box. Mistake reviews, live archives. All the best bits are down there. We also have from Miss Zen for $2 says, would rather have Constantine 2 than Wonder Woman. I think that's a lot of people, which we'll get to. Again, that is our next topic. What is this? Okay.
Also, too, really fast, Mrs. Zen had a membership
okay.
message.
Thank you so much.
For 12 months.
That's the photo I was looking for.
Supporter level. Thank you, Miss Zen.
Thank you so much, Miss Zen. So what is this?
So Andy
this
Masterson,
is the Tom Connors in action figure. Because I'm not usually in action.
Mm-hmm.
This is me.
This is okay. Someone made
bizarre.
This.
Yeah. Andy Masterson does a great job with these. He does custom figures and
he does. That's what you should have said first. It's like this guy's a really fine custom action figure creator.
I was looking for the shot one, but yeah.
And then I would have said, "What the fuck happened to?" No, joking. No, what? So did you pay?
Don't blame him for the model. No, he made it for me as a friend and fan. So like,
yeah.
Wow. You got figures.
I do.
That's epic. How cool is that?
I like his Mexican
my figure
Iron
is
Man.
Desirable. Yeah, he's done Mexican Iron Man, Doomcock, Gary at Nerdrotic, a whole bunch of them.
Wow.
My favorite is Mexican Iron Man. Then
yeah, I think he's done a couple Mexican Iron Man ones actually.
Mm-hmm.
Mexican Iron Man is his muse.
Yeah, well, he's done him in the Iron Man suit, and then he did him in the what's his face from Namor suit.
Oh my God, that's right. Oh God.
Dear, oh dear.
He has fun with Mikey. Yeah. So yeah, I'm an action figure. That's cool.
Right. Well, ladies and gents, let's move on to our next topic, which was briefly mentioned, and we do have some updates apparently from Paulie. But this is what we sort of covered earlier, which is Constantine 2, starring Keanu Reeves, has reportedly been scrapped. Allegedly, that's not true now. Is that right, Paulie?
Yeah, and this is an article. There's a couple from Entertainment Weekly and then Bloody Disgusting that are like an hour old, if that.
So this is one which you sent, which is Entertainment Weekly. So Constantine sequel with Keanu Reeves still hell blazing ahead amid new DC slate. So we'll get to this in a minute, just for sort of posterity's sake. We'll cover that in a minute. But let's read this one first, because this is what kickstarted everything. KC Walsh, a scooper, claimed that Constantine 2 has now been cancelled, bluntly telling one of his followers Constantine 2 is not happening. That was a movie they greenlit in desperation because they weren't sure the direction of DC and needed to have something post 2023. So that was what was stated. But now we get this, which is...
I trust EW, and that's a later report too.
Yeah,
Andre heard similar things, is that it was still on. He's not sure where they were hearing this from.
Yeah, I would. Well, apparently, this is a spokesperson for Warner Brothers has confirmed to EW that Constantine 2 is not scrapped. Internet chatter going around social media suggested it had. Reeves will be reprising his role of John Constantine, the magic-wielding occult expert, made popular by Alan Moore. And then obviously in the Hellblazer comics, the studio announced last year that Reeves will be back for another go with filmmaker Francis Lawrence, who directed the first one, and Akiva Goldsman, who penned the first one as well, back as well. And hopefully, is it Peter Stormare? Stormare? The guy who played Lucifer. Would be good to have him. I think it is Peter Stormare. I could be wrong there. But anyway, the guy who played Lucifer, hopefully he's back, because he's fucking epic. Absolutely brilliant actor. Needs to be in more things. Super good actor. Look, what do we think about this? I mean, I when I read this news, I was like, look, I can see that there's some legitimacy behind it, just because there was no announcement of it. You know, they're shaking things up. You know, J.J. Abrams has had everything taken from him at Warner Brothers now as well. Could this be part of... I mean, obviously, we know that there's going to be a Swamp Thing. Could this be an element of James Gunn trying to retool the horror thing into, you know, something else as well? There could have been an air of legitimacy behind it. I can see why. I also said in my initial report earlier that this is the most stupid thing that they could possibly do if it is true, because you'll waste goodwill from everyone. You know, Keanu, it couldn't be a hotter topic right now, a hotter actor in Hollywood. And having him as a name coming back into DC is a big draw when they have nothing to draw anyone in at this point in time. So if they did announce this would be awful. I mean, thoughts, Paulie?
Absolutely, 100%. He's up there with Tom Cruise level as far as just being beloved, probably even more so, and being you know, just with the John Wick and the Matrix, the first Constantine. I mean, he can tend to give some you know, wooden performances in like kind of regular dramas, but this is right up his alley. Again, I would think, I don't know why this person let it out there, but a couple things, like I said before, you know, Warner Brothers is probably just trying to work around Reeves' schedule because he's, you know, probably just super busy.
What has he got? What has he got coming out?
No, I'm saying probably, right? I don't know if he's doing Ballerina. I don't know what, you know, but also too, I don't know if he is just being selective as well, because that happens too. He's getting, you know, he's just going about life. You know, he does his own thing, kind of like Cruise. He's not going to just say yes to everything. You know, yeah, well, you know, let's do it. The price is right. He's definitely a man who's got some principles. The other, what was the other thing that I was going to say about Reeves? Dang it.
So he does have upcoming, obviously John Wick 4 that's releasing soon. John Wick Chapter 5 pre-production, Berserker, so that is something which is happening. Outcome, haven't even heard of that. No idea what that is. He's going back to do some more voice work of Johnny Silverhand for Cyberpunk. And Ballerina, there was a recent report that he is going to be in that, so that does make sense. He does have stuff coming up. So you,
well, that's confirmed, and they already filmed it. That just finished with Anna de Armas.
Oh, is that finished? I didn't think that was finished. Oh,
yep. Okay. And then, so, but you got to understand too that all those movies, right? That's 3 action flicks. That takes a lot out of a person.
He's like 60, he's not getting now.
He's at least mid-50s at this point.
Well, and something I learned from when I was tight with the 58. Whole Bill and Ted thing is that, yeah, Keanu's schedule is like difficult. So that I can see being true is that, and looking at what you just showed there in that lineup, Mr. H, is like he's got a lot of stuff lined up that they're probably trying to find a way to squeak this in his schedule. And I agree with Paulie. Keanu is one of those things that, yeah, he's had his down times in Hollywood, but what he has had is longevity. He can do a few bombs in a row and come back with a John Wick or a Speed or a whatever you want to toss it, a Matrix or whatever, you know, every once in a while. And that's the thing is he's not consistent at the box office, but what he is he's got longevity. People like him. I mean, he's not one of those actors who invokes a lot of people's ire. He's smart about not getting out there on any of the social medias. He's not a controversial person. He's not dating a bunch of supermodels and stuff left and right to get himself in any kind of trouble. Sure, there's things here and there that pop up, but 9 times out of 10, if you follow the rabbit hole down, you can find out that 9 times out of 10, to go back to a word we used earlier, it's a bunch of fugazi. Because like Keanu seems to be like one of the most cleanest guys in Hollywood.
Good guy.
Like he just seems like he avoids a lot of the bullshit. And that's a lot of the stories I've heard personally about him too, is he's just a very down to earth former surfer who just likes to play pretend once in a while, like John Wick and stuff like that. And he doesn't have to do the superhero type movies. He's got more than enough money. He's not somebody who's spent all his money like some of these other people have. Yeah. He could quit doing movies. I've been told by more than one person that he could quit doing movies tomorrow and not have to worry about nothing. He could go retire and just do whatever.
Didn't he give a bunch of his money away for the Matrix and bought all the stunt people? But bought basically all the crew, like Harley Davidsons or something like that. Like,
and he bought, I think, wasn't it Hummers or something like that for him on the second film or something like that, or whatever it was that they used in the one scene. But like, yeah, like he's never been one of these guys who's been hung up on, I gotta have this franchise or gotta have that franchise. My point is when he did Bill and Ted, he did that out of pure love for the character and he wanted to get it done. and he made sure he got it done, and he did it for next to nothing. So
Right,
like
and then,
me
he'll do the
hearing he wants to
independent
do
films.
Yeah, exactly, Paulie. The reason that I'm saying this is because him wanting to do Constantine is the whole reason this movie's happening. Period.
Yeah.
No other reason. None. And if anything, the great thing about it is it killed that other stupid project that J.J. Abrams was going to do. Because J.J.'s stuck to this because of his contract with Warner Brothers and the character. So I'm fine with that. And I don't see why this could or couldn't happen. And it won't impede in any way on anything that James Gunn is coming up with. This could be shot and out in the next year as long as they can work it in his schedule. That's where I can see the problem is coming in, is Keanu working it in his next 2 or 3 year schedule.
Well, I mean, with this, with that as well, like that's, I mean, you look at like an hour and a half, hour 40 movie. It's not going to be super long. It's going to be one of those films that's relatively short. I
A lot of
can't
green
picture that
screen work, probably.
but it's not gonna. Well, you say that. I mean, the first one didn't have a lot of green screen.
Not a ton, but that came
bit.
out back in the early 2000s to where they were still doing a lot of practical stuff yet.
True. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this is good. I think that could be a relatively quick shoot as well. In fairness, I don't think that's a super expensive, long running shoot. I think you could slot that in quite easily. In fairness, around certain bits and pieces that he's doing. But yeah, I mean, it's good. I'm glad it's not cancelled. Put it that way. You know, I think this is one of the.
It'd be stupid for him to do it. Yeah.
Oh, it'd be so absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It'd be one of the
I don't
worst.
think it was ever in jeopardy.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I just think that's so silly.
I think it all boils down to Keanu, right?
Well, he's the one that went in every single year apparently to Warner Brothers asking them to make a sequel. That came out recently.
Wow. That's pretty
Every
cool.
single year he went in there and asked.
It makes me wonder if the Matrix deal was partially like, I'll do it, but I get to do Constantine too.
You know what? That might be. You never know. You never know. But that was a co-production. So
I'm not kidding, but like, yeah, no. I mean, he does like the Matrix too. So like that, I'm not saying he would use that to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, anyway, we'll shuffle on to some other bits and pieces now. Paulie, you said we got Fear Sundown member, 1 year member for 19 months, support level 0.5. So thank you so much. And there's a new member. Is there? Who's a new member? Dropped in there.
Maybe not. Maybe just a new renewal. I don't know how that.
Okay.
No, not a new member. Sorry, just a.
No,
my bad. Well, my bad.
Thank you so much for Sundown. Do appreciate that, buddy. Please, everyone, do hit the thumbs up button. Would appreciate that if you can. As well, just as a brief one, follow me over on Twitter at Mr. H Reviews. I recently deleted my Instagram, so that's gone. So you can no longer find me on the old grams of Insta. Maybe I'll pop back on one day. I'm happy being off of it for now, just for I don't think it's very good for your mental. Well, it's not very good for your mental health, as research indicates. So I'm very glad being off of it for now. But yeah, do follow me over on Twitter. I just pop on and send a tweet every now and then. So it'd be good to have you on over there. The twits. That's where I was alarmed at seeing Pete Burns resurrected. Oh no, wait, it was Madonna at the Grammys. Because Jesus, did she look terrible?
Oh Lord, I have no idea what she's done to herself.
Well, she obviously, Pete Burns, plastic surgeon, basically, awful. Why did
she started to look like Bruce Campbell in Escape from L.A., man? Like,
yeah, it's real bad. I deleted my Instagram because it's a shithole infested nonsense, and I don't post anything. I posted pictures of my dog. They're my pictures. I don't need Instagram for that. I'm good. So it's gone, basically. I don't need Instagram. I didn't use it for work, so the works one was redundant, and I didn't have a personal one. It sort of blended into a personal one. It just became pointless, so it's gone. Yeah, you can look at pictures of Jasper over on Twitter. There is literally a picture of Jasper as my profile picture. So that's why it's gone. So I think you're Paulie, you can take the lead on this one. What is this topic, good sir?
Yeah, apparently AMC theaters is to change movie ticket prices based on seat location. This is one of several amazing ideas from the big movie chains that has gotten all kinds of people up in arms. Even Elijah Wood tweeted out against this old Frodo head. Was like, this is not good for the little people. Ha ha. I just came up with that. That was pretty good. Okay, let's read this. At your next visit to AMC theaters, getting a prime seat may cost you a little extra. The country's largest exhibition chain is rolling out Sightline at AMC, a ticket pricing initiative based on seat location within the auditorium. Similar to movie concerts, sporting events, or Broadway, moviegoers will have the option to pay more or less for admission depending on where they choose to sit in the venue. In effect, front row seats will be available at lower prices, while seats in the middle of the theater will be available at higher prices. The initiative kicks off Friday at select AMC locations in New York, Chicago, and Kansas City, and will be expanded to all domestic AMC locations by the end of the year. Any thoughts so far, guys?
Well, isn't this on top of their variable pricing anyway for bigger films?
Yeah, well, yeah, they have that plus the premium seating for like an IMAX or a 3D film, or if they have some of the auditoriums that have like fancier seats.
So this is on top of that as well. I think this is. I mean, look,
I have two minds on it, but I'm curious what you guys think. Yeah.
Well, I understand why they're doing it, but the thing is that so in the UK, you can have premium seats anyway, right? Like normally in the middle, there's premium seats in the UK. They're not actually that much better. You do have to pay more for them, and I dependent on what movie theater you go to, sometimes they're better. Like an Empire movie theater, for instance, in the UK, their premium seats are garbage. There's just they're basically the same. There's no point paying for them. Cineworld, which is AMC in the UK, don't quote me on that. I'm 99.9% certain it is. Their premium seats are shite, like absolute shite. You pay more for them. They're just in the middle. And then you get the View, which is another cinema chain in the UK. Their premium seats are a little bit better, but again, kind of pointless, really. But if I had to do like actual variable pricing for each seat I was going to, I would be pissed. Like I understand paying more money for a better seat because it's manufactured more, it's a better seat, like it's more comfortable, maybe you get more leg room, maybe you can recline. I don't bloody know. I can understand paying more money for that element, but just for a location? No. Because sometimes, I mean, no, like I don't know, like I don't understand that. I understand paying more for a better seat, a physically better seat, like you would if you're on an airplane, for instance, business class, first class, you're paying for a better seat. Not necessarily a better location, but you're paying for a better seat. It's a better experience.
Well, here they have 3 different pricing options. They name them, which is kind of weird and funny, right? The first is standard sightline. Then there's value sightline.
Oh, so they're literally it's called sightline. So it's literally about your field of view.
Yes. So this is what I'm saying. I'm of 2 minds in this. I actually understand it though, Mr. H. Like it's to me, you got to think of it. Well, I mean, it's like okay. I mean, I get the understanding of the griping a bit, but the way that the seating is set up now here, especially in the US, most of these theaters now are assigned seating. So honestly, if somebody gave the option that I could get a better seat and I only had to pay a couple bucks more, I would probably take that option. It's kind of no different than if you're going to
assigned seating. What do you mean by assigned?
Like when you go in to buy your tickets, you have to pick the seats you have to reserve your seats.
Yeah, so do you. Yeah.
Well, it used to be in the US, it used to be like a first come, first serve kind of thing. So basically, if you're the idiot to get in there last, well, you got stuck in the front or on the side. That was the way it was. And a part of me is like, that's just the way it should be. But now that we have this assigned seating crap, like this is where I'm kind of like, I'm of 2 minds on it. Part of it, I disagree with. The other part, to me, it's no different than like if you're going to a concert. You're always going to pay more for those.
But isn't that the same thing though? Because whether you're first come first serve, whether it's assigned seating or not, you're still choosing. You're still choosing the worst seats the later you come in. It's the same no matter what.
Similar, yes, but it detours like, I guess people from buying multiple. Okay, here's another thing that might be detouring, and this is just one example of. Sometimes people will buy seats around them, just so they can keep people from sitting near them, and it wastes decent seating. Some of these theaters, when they have the better seating, they actually have separate seating things to where it's not such a big deal. Yeah. But like, again, I'm talking more about the situation where, like, if you want the better rows in a concert, you're going to pay a hell of a lot more for those first 5 rows than you are for the next 10 or the next 10 or the next 10. So, I mean, it's the opposite in the theater. It's kind of reversed. You want those either middle to back seats when you're sitting in the theater, because you're going to get the best view and sound.
But the seat itself is literally the same fucking.
It is, but it's again. I get where you're coming from, Mr. H. But I'm looking at it. You got to look at it from like you're going to a concert, right? If you want to be right up front near the band, you're going to pay $200-300 a ticket, as opposed to people like I said who are 5 to 10 rows back, who are going to be paying in that $80 range, and then those behind them are going to be paying the $60 range. It's the same kind of thing, only it's in a theater setting, to where those middle seats, those prime seats in the theater, where you get the best picture and best sound, you get to pay a little bit more for them if you want them, I guess. I don't agree with it, but I see what they're doing here. It's kind of a... They're already...
Let me read this little part. The third option is a preferred sight line, which are seats in the middle of the auditorium and are priced at a premium to standard sightline seats. AMC Stubs A-list members, which is what I have, will be able to reserve seats in the preferred sightline section at no additional cost. Thank God, because I'm paying.
Because you remember,
I'm paying. What's that?
It's worked into your membership. That'll go up.
If it goes up, then we got problems. Right now, it's like $24.99 a month for this A-list thing, and I have to like make sure I use it, or else it's just like an added expense, man.
I reckon it's gonna go up, mate. So what's the rest of what do they say here?
Theaters that offer sightline at AMC are expected to provide a detailed seat map that outlines each seating option during the ticket purchase process online on the AMC app.
They would.
What's that?
It's expected to provide a detailed seat map. Well, yeah, you should hope so.
Yeah, discount Tuesdays are not applicable. Sightline at AMC more closely aligns AMC's seat pricing approach to that of many other entertainment venues, offering experience-based pricing and another way for moviegoers to find value at the movies.
Yeah, like Donovan put it in the chat, it's my Spock moment. I don't approve, but I understand. Right? Like, that's kind of it. Like, and this is just AMC right now. So,
well, and then they're also testing it out. So when you're in New York and Chicago and Kansas City, they're going to test this out for a few months, get feedback, try to make it better before they make it nationwide. If they do, it could blow up in their face.
So what do you think about this? I got my opinion. Got old Tommy Boy's opinion. What about yours, Paulie?
I think it's stupid.
I think
it is kind of confusing. Yeah,
it's a movie, man. Stop with all this nonsense. People are already paying money for a monthly, or they're paying more. It's just another way to screw the moviegoer. It's like, why do you want to do that, especially now, especially in these sensitive times?
I wonder what Nick of Echo Base thinks of this.
I wonder what Nick from Echo Base would think.
What do you think, Nick?
Hey.
What do you think of this?
I've been hearing y'all's conversation on it, and I see similar to Tom. I see both sides. I understand Tom's comparison to concerts, because I go to a lot of concerts, and but I agree. I think it's dumb. It's a movie theater. It's just a way for them to try to, milk a couple extra pennies out of you. I don't know how well AMC in the theater business is going right now, but obviously they're trying to find a way to make as much money as possible. I don't know. I mean, are the studios going to see any more money for these increased prices? I mean, do they
probably not? I wouldn't imagine so. Why would they? Like, I guess they have their base price. That's the ticket per sale. So I don't think this is.
Then again, maybe it goes by percentage of ticket anyway. In that case, they would. I'd have to look on that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure how all that works.
Yeah, true.
I just know that they pay like a rental fee, and then at the end of the day, when they pay for the movie, I know they pay it all at once at the end when the movie's done with its run. Like they just send off a check or whatever with the receipts. Something to that effect.
That's a corporation for you, though.
Yeah, true.
However they can milk money, they'll do it.
Well, I think the problem I have here with this is that the experience is very much still the same. Like, there's not, again, it's different. To me, it's different if the seating is better, or if there's certain elements which are vastly improved. It makes sense to me, but yeah.
Well, it kind of is, but yeah, it takes away certain elements. I don't know. I get where you're coming from.
Not on an IMAX. Pretty much wherever you sit, you're seeing the whole bloody.
That's not totally true. You don't want to be right up front. You don't want to be off to the far left or right. You are right. Most of the premium theaters are set up a little differently, but this sounds like it's going to be more for the standard and non-IMAX type theaters and stuff.
I went to an IMAX movie once where I got there late, and the only available seats were the very, very front row. And good God, halfway through the movie, my neck was killing me.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to be that far back to get the same experience as you would from the very middle, right? Like, you just don't. And the IMAX screens, for instance, are so bloody big. You can be right at the back, and the viewing experience is still pretty much the same. Like, there's not that much of a differentiation.
Well, do you guys have actual IMAXs there? Because a lot of the ones here in the US are not. Yeah. See, this is something that most people don't know about. Is that when AMC bought IMAX, most of those theaters that claim to be IMAX, they're only like half the size of what an actual IMAX theater was.
Oh no, this is like floor to ceiling IMAX screen. Like, it is.
Yeah, I mean, they're set up that way, but they're not very big. Like, the one that I have is actually one of the mini IMAXs or whatever they're technically referred to.
No, the one near me is a gigantic IMAX.
That's what I figured. Is most of the ones over there, I'm assuming, are the big full size ones. Because like the closest one for me, I'd have to go all the way to Chicago, which is like 4 or 5 hours away. So IMAX screens are few and far between in the UK, but when you find one, it's an IMAX screen, like a full blown. And that one I think is actually in the museum. To be honest with you, like, it's connected with the museum. Jesus. Like, that's where it started. Yeah, like IMAX was its own thing for years. They would just show like nature films and stuff most of the time, is what it was.
Wow.
But
we got one at the Space and Market Center in Huntsville. They also got a theater in Huntsville that it is nothing but premium seats, and all the seats are all recliners with your own armrests and everything. It's only the very middle of the theater there are the only seats. So of course you can't pack as many people in there, but the ticket prices are way higher.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I see the benefit of doing, because there was a really good. So we did like, there's some very special kind of luxury theaters and things, which I'm more than happy to pay all the money for when you get such a great seat, such a great viewing experience. You know, you get food, specific food, all those kind of things. Like, I'm happy to pay because that's an experience. I guess as well, part of my problem with this variable ticket pricing for location is that movies on a whole are really shit at the moment. So there's not that much that I'm going to want to pay extra top dollar for to sit in the middle and watch, because the film itself is substandard. My viewing experience of that film might be better because I'm paying specifically to see it, but my viewing experience of the film is always going to be crap because the film is shit.
Yeah,
there's very few films
you can't
that
do
I'm going to
anything
want to do that with. No, but this is what I mean. But
no,
but,
I get
but
you.
You can't. But you're going to price people out of seeing more
that
movies.
May happen.
I think.
But the other benefit you have, look at it this way, Mr. H. Let's say you're somebody who's late to the theater. I'd be glad to pay less for a theater where I'm going to get stuck up front than if I would have to pay the same as somebody who got a premium seat in this situation. I mean,
but you know, they're also kind of like make it like a theater event, like Broadway, like the theater. If you show up late, you don't get in. They should do that.
Well, that's another thing going to what I was saying earlier, too, is that's a problem. I've heard some of the guys talk about it. The one theater I was talking to them at was they said, yeah, sometimes somebody they'll reserve seats and you're allowed up to a certain point to cancel that and get your money back. And then they've got an empty seat right in the middle of the theater, a half a dozen empty seats of people who canceled their tickets at the last minute and stuff, too. So I'm sure that's stuff that's built into this as well. Like, maybe if you're somebody, you get an alert that there's going to be a premium seat available that somebody canceled or something, you know? And again, I'm not trying to give it a good excuse. I can see where they're coming from, but I think Paulie's right that it's going to be too complicated that it might not work out.
And plays and stuff like that, it's the same way there. I mean, you pay for it just
better seats.
It's ticketed just like if it was a concert.
Yeah. Well, it's a different experience, you know.
But that's
wow,
the thing,
man! I think this is like what three times now in this stream that Tom has agreed with me. I mean, what's going on?
Whoa,
what's going on?
Tom, did you sleep all right last night? Is that what's happened?
No, it's just he's making sense for once.
Wow,
that's true.
But I'm bummed. Even a broken clock's right twice a day.
You know, it's a good point. I didn't even think about it. It's like it's not even like great films coming out right now.
Exactly, this is the thing. You will price if people are very few people are going to see these garbage movies anyway. People are much more selective about the films that they choose to see because they don't have as much disposable cash. You're then pricing them out of watching a substandard film, you know, in a reasonable seating position because they're like, well, I don't want to pay, you know, an extra $2 because it's expensive as it is anyway, or $5. We don't know how much it's going to be, right? So you're then pricing them out of that entirely. Like you're making the decision easier for people not to go and watch a film. You know, it's different. Again, if it's an event film, if it's something that people are actually looking forward to, I get it then, right? But then you've also got the variable pricing on top of that as well. So they'll be doing variable pricing plus, what was it, line of sight or something like that? Special line of sight seats. So you got like variable pricing plus more money as well for the films that people actually want to go watch. You're gonna piss people off with this, I think. I do think
is there anyone? Yeah, is there anyone in New York or Chicago or Kansas City that can maybe you know check this out for us? You know, and to
see in a lot of those bigger cities, people are used to going to other kinds of things, though, like concerts and plays. But so basically, what Mr. H is saying is he agrees with Elijah Wood.
The movie theater is and always has been a sacred democratic space for all. And this new initiative by AMC Theaters would essentially penalize people for lower income and reward for higher income. No, I disagree with that.
Can I be an actually on that? Because no, actually, when movies started, you had to have money.
You had to be high class. Yeah,
yeah, you couldn't just go. Yeah,
I disagree with that, but it's good that he's chiming in, right? Like it is good that he's chiming in, and although it's misplaced, the democratic element is again not strictly true either. Like it's a first come first serve approach, right? You turn up late, you're not that interested in seeing the film, so you get a shit seat. You should reward people for turning up on time, like for goodness sake.
Yeah, any chance to politicize something, they're gonna go for it. It's always been a sacred democratic and social if I could say, way of all of us coming together. Get out of here.
No, but I can agree with Mr. H highly on that. I hated it in the US when they started doing this assigned seating thing. And Andre, it was funny because he said to me, he's like, what? You don't have assigned seating in the US? I'm like, no, most theaters don't. They're just starting to do it at some of these theaters. It's starting to piss me off. It's like, so I'm one of those people like that. Like Mr. H is like, when I go to a movie, I make sure I get there early enough to where I can get a decent fucking seat. You know, and then I show up and realize, oh, you were supposed to do this online ahead of time, and now I'm stuck with a crap seat because all these other people who aren't going to show up till just before the movie starts went and reserved their seats online, and right there you go. They paid that extra amount of money through Fandango or whatever to do that, and that's what gave this company the idea to do this. I guarantee you. And again, it's very confusing, and I don't know if it's going to work, but yeah, I kind of miss that aspect of it. But at the same time, now I've gotten into the habit of I don't have to worry about getting there a half hour early. I just get there just about the movie starts because I know I can miss the first half hour of trailers. You know, like,
well, you know what? For a lot of films these days, I know I can just turn up without booking anyway because it's fine, and I know I'll get a good seat regardless. Because most films are so shit, no one's going to go watch.
There's that now too, unfortunately.
Well, you know, I've been doing lately, which I love. If I know I'm like, you know, running for time, I'll get my ticket, and then I'll also pre-order the food, and I ask you what time you want it ready. And man, you know, and this is Cinemark. They've been. I love that. I hate waiting in line in the concession lines. Can't stand it. I've really have grown to love it.
With the filthy, dirty peasants. Is that right, Paulie?
Don't get me started.
Let them have cake.
So let me tell you something. I go to the theater. I hate peasants in line.
Fucking peasants.
With the hot dogs. I don't want to wait for a hot dog.
So anyway, let's shuffle on to
French. I want French dog.
It's just like a dick stuck in a croissant. What is this?
Look at me. I have nice chichis. My name is
okay. All right.
We'll get over it. Get over it. We're done.
Good. Excellent.
Come on, you guys can't have any fun.
You can come over and meet and have fun, Paul. You know it.
What? We have fun.
We drive everybody away doing that stuff.
I gotta go do a job.
Oh yeah, you go do a job, eh? So anyway, we will shuffle on to the next topic just because this is interesting. It's our favorite neighborhood scooper, Grace Randolph or Race Randolph.
Boy, you're really setting me up, huh, for all these stories.
I know. Race Randolph says the Flash completely changed its ending and replaced all those cameos as DCU reboot beckons. Now, I will not subject you to her ear-piercing voice. Don't you worry about it. But allegedly, she says James Gunn has cut all of the character teasers from the ending of the film, including Keaton's Batman and what is it, Kaye? Sasha Kaye?
Sasha Kaye. Kaye. It means
Kaye.
Kaye. Real quick.
Kaye. Sasha. Anyway, right. So Supergirl's been cut as well. Yep. Yes. They're filming a new cameo with a character from a long time ago to show that this Barry Allen, Ezra Miller, can go anywhere he wants. So she shared this. Someone tags Scumberto Gonzalez in it, and he says, "True, actually." What do we think?
Two people I really trust.
Well,
no, I mean,
she seems to be right with the new DC stuff. Right?
Yeah, we've been hearing this kind of a thing for a while, though, that there was going to be some carving and shaving of the Flash films, and that people had said that all of a sudden, you know, the Ben Affleck cameo was not seen in the Aquaman movie. I said, well, notice nobody said anything about the Batman or the Michael Keaton cameo either, because one of them was going to show up in it one way or the other. Like that was the whole plan. Yeah. So yeah, to me, it just tells me they're cutting off all the loose ends. This is what I was saying earlier. Yeah.
But what about Ezra Miller being set up where he can just go anywhere he wants? I mean, I think it's fucking terrible news. Obviously, we're talking about this briefly before the show started, but garbage news, if you ask me.
Well, actually, this feeds into something I heard. Because I had heard a rumor about them possibly doing like a cameo where he has like a weird brief scene with, believe it or not, Christopher Reeve's Superman.
So that was what people were saying in the comments on this. They were thinking that, or
and I heard this a few months ago. Yeah.
No, what would have been even better is if he would have gone back to Adam West and Burt Ward, Batman and Robin TV series, and had the kapow, bam. You know,
that would have been good.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah, I would have liked that. Well, Paulie, what do we think? Again, we kind of covered some of this before.
Yeah, just kind of
you getting out of French mode. Is that what you were just doing there?
No, I'm just like, taking that victory lap. Just taking that victory lap.
Yeah. You're gonna say that you were right, yeah.
Just confirms what I've been telling you guys. Really confirms what I've been telling you guys, and it is the ultimate political move as well. Because if Ezra does go south, they can totally Saffron can totally pivot. Saffron's is getting the whole chessboard. He's like pivoting. I got moves, counter moves, counter moves, counter moves. We're set. Yeah. They literally probably have triage. What will Ezra Miller do? Triage committee at Warner Brothers, right?
Damage control just for Ezra Miller.
Oh man, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, and he, even more so because with Saffron has worked for decades being a manager. He knows talent. So yeah, this is now he can control to a degree the content and its players. So he's setting it up. Either way, and Ezra knows this. And and the thing is, Ezra makes one more bad move because it's probably out, like just within the Hollywood circles, right? He makes one more bad move. He's probably going to get blacklisted from the
probably. How much does it fucking take for this guy to get blacklisted? He's on video choking a woman out. He's on video live in court in Hawaii.
Listen, when you have SAG, defending Baldwin.
Oh God.
That's what you're dealing with. Right?
I'm not about cancel culture, but I just don't understand. Like, where's the straw that breaks the camel's back on this motherfucker? Seriously, I don't understand it.
Well, Nesla, I heard they were already to that point, but again, Paulie is right about certain things as far as like the industry protecting certain people, and he'd always been protected. But again, I'm still not going to agree that he's ever coming back as the Flash. Like, I feel like this is the last time we've seen him as the Flash.
Disagreement in their stream, haven't you, son?
No, I don't see the reasoning for it. If you're going to reboot this thing, why not get rid of one of your more problematic people? I mean,
I agree.
You know.
The only thing that had me interested in this entire film was Michael Keaton returning as Batman. If they're cutting that out, I literally have no interest.
No, it's just the cameo at the end, which was supposed to set up Batgirl, I believe. That's all.
Yeah, so he is still in it. But and so is Supergirl, but they don't appear at the end. So basically, he comes through into a new world. At the end of the original film, was he came back through into what he thought was his world. It was his world, but everything had changed. Ben Affleck's Batman was gone. Michael Keaton's Batman was there.
Gone. Yeah.
Henry Cavill had been murdered as a baby because that was the best fucking decision they could ever make, I guess. And Supergirl was there instead. So that's all gone now. But Henry Cavill's still murdered as a baby, I'm sure. In James Gunn's eyes. And now he comes through and he interacts with someone from the far, far past to be like, ha 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 ha, I'm Barry Allen. I can go wherever I want between worlds and apparently between the sheets of 12-year-olds as well.
I heard it's a really stupid thing though, because like I guess from what I heard, Christopher Reeve don't even say anything either.
Well, of course he doesn't. What's he gonna say?
Exactly. Like it's just like basically the Flash going, "Where am I?" And he just kind of smiles at him or some shit.
Oh, like so it's almost as bad as the Morbius post-credit scene. That just
probably from what I had heard. And again, this is just
together.
And again, I can't confirm this in any fucking way, and I'll probably never be able to confirm it. But that's just what I was told. But maybe if that's still in the movie now, who knows?
We're at Morbius levels of post-credit.
I never even saw Morbius.
Fucking don't. Just don't. The best thing about Morbius was when Morbius shouted, "It's Morbin time," and then morbed all over Matt Smith's face.
I had fun watching that movie. Come on,
that
was a stupid popcorn flick. It was a lot of fun.
It was fucking terrible.
I'm not a Leto fan.
I will have no positive praise.
I like 30 Seconds to Mars. I like him.
Morbius was glorious.
But
Yeah,
It
it's Morbin
rhymes
time.
with glorious.
Yeah, it's Morbin time.
No, I know it's that bad of a movie. I like it for how bad it is, though. That's
Thank you.
That's the joke.
Thank you.
Bad.
Thank you.
It's so bad.
I know.
So
And he had Adria Arjona as a female love interest.
Who?
Yeah, man.
Who?
The female in love
Yeah,
interest, the doctor. She's
What was her
gorgeous.
name?
Adria Arjona.
Okay. I get her and Isa Gonzalez mixed up.
Yeah, you know what?
One looks a bit like a younger version of the other.
Yeah, Isa's has had a lot of work on her. Has had a lot of work done.
I could not give a fuck.
And with that, she's looked more. Now she looks more like Adria. Adria's is definitely more of a natural, beauty.
Well, if they all end up looking the same, it doesn't matter, does it?
I
should end up looking like Madonna from the Grammys. Fucking sick burn, although not really.
No, but
terrible.
I take Adria any day over. We should do we need to do that. We haven't done the 2023.
The only thing that was
actresses of the year
that was more cringe at the Grammys than what Madonna looked like was all the virtue signaling that was going on, I guess.
I didn't see any of it.
Like the whole night was like this pro LGBTQ trans thing. All throughout the night.
Did you see who sponsored
even-
the sponsor?
Pfizer.
Pfizer. I guess the big head scratcher was when who I can't remember who it was, but is it Beyonce? Was it that was up there saying that? I can't remember who was
show up.
No, it wasn't Beyonce. It was who was it? The one who's married to Jay-Z.
Yeah, that's Beyonce.
I thought it was her. They were saying something about when she won the award. She was like, it was the best dance music category or something like that, or whoever it was. It was like saying like they were thanking the gay community for being so supportive and for creating this music genre. I'm like, hold up, time out. When did the gay community create this music genre? What? Like,
well,
apparently,
yeah.
Sam Smith recently came out and was like, pop music isn't ready for a bunch of queerness. It's like, mate.
Yeah, so that was what I think spurned this whole thing. But yeah,
pop music has been queer. Anyway, whatever. Mexican Iron Man's throwing some shade at you, Paulie. Wait, Paulie doesn't like Godfather 3, but he likes Mobius.
Mobius?
He hates it so much he hasn't even spelled it right. Good Lord.
Okay, first of all, I will not wait. Oh, wait, put that thing back up. Put that thing back
all
up.
Right.
Mike,
Whoa,
first of all, I won't wait. Second of all, it's not that I don't like The Godfather 3. I can't stand The Godfather 3. It is atrocious cinema to Coppola and to Godfather 1 and 2. Morbius, silly popcorn fun. Yeah, I liked it. Good Lord.
Oh, dear.
You got it. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Love you, Mikey.
That's it. Fighting talk. I don't know what I think about this now. Sorry.
I'm just leaving it alone.
Yeah. You better leave it alone, Tom, because
not in the mood to argue with Paulie right now.
Mike started it.
Not in the mood to argue.
We've had this argument now for a couple of years, Nate. So.
What, that you like Morbius but don't like?
No, that I can't.
No, the whole Godfather 3 thing.
The Godfather 3 thing.
That you just don't like it. Why don't you like it? Why can't you stand it? No, not gonna regale us with that.
Out of respect of Tom and the goodwill that we have, me and Tommy today.
The goodwill that you've built up over the Hcast by agreeing with one another periodically.
Right.
I see. Fuck's sake.
Oh God, I love talking about movies. It's my favorite. It's my favorite.
I like it too. That's why I do it.
Right, Tommy?
Every day.
Right, Tom?
Sure.
Right.
Hey, there's a new.
Final topic, I think, for today might be the final topic, unless people drop in with some fast news at the end. But the Hollywood Reporter did a really interesting piece, curveball, on Justin Roiland's Animation Empire, the fall of it. Actually revealing a vast amount of more alleged things going on, basically. So if you don't know, Justin Roiland has been charged. I think he's going to court basically for what was it? It's like imprisonment and like kidnapping and things like that, of like a pretty awful stuff, like of a woman. He's got like
false
a
imprisonment or something.
Domestic, alleged domestic violence, right? But yeah, false imprisonment was part of it, and fraud and things like that. So pretty awful stuff. He's been fired now from Adult Swim. Yeah, and this is the voice of Rick and Morty. Now, obviously, this is all alleged. We still don't have any confirmation of this. You know, let's not. It's important not to convict people in the court of public opinion prior to an actual conviction and the evidence. I mean, that's what happened with Johnny Depp. Not cool, right? It's not cool. However, there is a vast amount of evidence against him of other things that have happened across the years. So we'll get into it, because this is, quite the tale that a Hollywood Reporter spun here. So on January 9th, Hulu debuted its animated comedy Koala Man, the latest installment in what was then Justin Roiland's sprawling empire, which is true because he's got like a game out as well. He's got his own video game company now as well. Like he really captured this sense of humor and just chucked it out there into the world. Pretty crazy. So in a matter of months, Roiland had released the hit video game, put a collection of paintings on exhibit, aired a 6th season of his Adult Swim juggernaut Rick and Morty, and snagged a 5th season for his other Hulu series, Solar Opposites. 3 days later, that image as a high-flying animation maestro came crashing down. On January 12th, NBC News revealed that Roiland was facing 2 felony charges in Orange County stemming from an alleged 2020 domestic violence incident that occurred with a woman he was dating at the time. That August, he was arrested and released on bail. Roiland has pleaded not guilty. The news, which blindsided both his employers and his colleagues, was greeted with an outpouring of other troubling revelations surrounding his online interactions, with multiple women publishing lewd messages they claimed to have received from Roiland. He direct message former Mad magazine editor Ali Gortz, a longtime fan who is prepping a Rick and Morty concept album. Can you write a song about 9 dicks of different sized and ethnic origins hanging above your face, and then in the lyrics describe how they each splatter you with semen? He allegedly messaged another woman who posted the exchange using an anonymous Twitter account and claimed to have been underage when they began corresponding. You should run away from home and go into sex slavery, you effing... I can't read that.
You can't say it, or you can read it.
I can read it. I can't say it on the stream.
Yeah.
You effing stupid Togath B-word bitch joke. Togath is faggot backwards. Anyway. So pretty awful stuff, like pretty horrendous stuff. Over the next 2 weeks, insiders say advertisers panicked, lawyers huddled, and ultimately one of the biggest names in animation watched his career imploded. Roiland was stripped of his lucrative overall deal at Disney's 20th television animation, and both Adult Swim and Hulu released statements that they had severed ties. Roiland will be replaced as the voices of Rick and Morty, Solar's alien scientist Corvo going forward. Even Squanch Games, the video game studio that he co-founded in 2016, announced that he'd resigned as CEO. His whole life is just gone now. Roiland, who declined to comment for the story, is due back in court for a pre-trial hearing in late April. But there's more. Any comment on what we've just heard, though?
Sounds pretty crazy.
There's more. There's more.
There's more.
To many of Roiland's colleagues, the criminal charges came as a shock, but they also point to workplace behavior that has made them uncomfortable for years. According to multiple sources who would speak only on the condition of anonymity, Roiland once paraded a high-profile porn star through the Rick and Morty writer's room, openly discussed threesomes, and was involved in at least one instance of alleged sexual harassment during the show's 3rd season, notably its first with female writers. The season of Rick and Morty was the first with female writers. In 2020, Cartoon Network, for which Adult Swim is the nighttime arm, conducted a formal investigation that examined Roiland's inappropriate workplace conduct. It's uncertain what, if any, actions were taken. Cartoon Network declined to comment. More recent, I mean, parading a porn star around, like, what relevance does that have to anything? Like, why?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to. Now, don't take this as in any ways condoning any of his behavior, one way or at all, right?
Hmm.
I'm going to say this. This is something I've noticed as a commonality when they've started to add more quote unquote diversity to writers' rooms, is you get a lot of the wrong people into the fucking mix. Maybe this is not something normally people would do, but guess what? Whatever fucking worked for them before worked like a motherfucker, and you changing it now caused issues. Now, I'm not condoning anything that Roiland did or anybody else for that matter. I'm just saying something got thrown into the mix, and all of a sudden, this whole fucking thing came tumbling down. Right? Again, it just, to me, I think it's a matter of the BS that comes when something is working. Don't mess with it. Right? So what if they didn't have any women in the staff? Maybe that was good for a reason. Right?
Well,
like,
well, yeah, you say so. Yeah, I agree with that. Sure, but that's not.
I mean, I'm not saying they don't.
That's not related to the porn star being paraded.
Yeah, you know what? If there was no other women there, then nobody would have been fucking offended. That's my point.
No, that wasn't when they were there. I don't think the alleged sexual harassment.
Okay, so that's two separate instances.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, from what it reads like, yeah.
Well, the sexual harassment thing, that is like, yeah, you got to be an idiot to do that nowadays in the workplace. Yeah. I mean, come on.
More recently, multiple sources say that Roiland, other than voice work, has not had any meaningful creative presence on any of the series that bear his name. In fact, many of his former colleagues say they haven't heard from him in years, and when they have, it's been unpleasant. They note, too, that he hasn't been on speaking terms with Rick and Morty's co-creator, Dan Harmon, for multiple seasons, and a substantial number of staffers on that show, as well as Solar Opposite and Koala Man, have never actually met Roiland, even over Zoom. Well, that doesn't matter. Who cares? So
then why is he a problem? I don't get it.
Well, I guess they're just showing how he's sort of disenfranchised with everything, to be fair. I guess, I don't know.
I'm confused though as to why he's a problem at the workplace if he's never there.
Well, no, that's with certain people. That's not with all of them. Just certain staffers on the show. But yeah, you are right. That some of this was early, like season 3.
Yeah, they're kind of mixing a lot of shit here together. That's where I'm getting confused as to when this stuff is actually happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those puff pieces, isn't it? So it's to capitalize on the SEO of Justin Roiland being binned off. So I would imagine some of this has been put together in a bit of a hurry. But yeah, it's interesting. They say here, in short order, the duo sold an idea born from one of Roiland's zanier shorts, an off-color parody of Back to the Future, where Doc repeatedly convinces Marty to lick his balls. The men populated their writer's room with their Channel 101 pals and got to work. Unlike Community, where horror stories about late nights and brutal working conditions were well reported, Rick and Morty was, as Harmon once described it, easy and fun. In those early days, he and Roiland were said to be an ideal match. When Harmon would be writing funny jokes, Justin would get up and draw a really funny drawing. And that combined is what led to the smart, silly sort of gumbo that turned into Rick and Morty, recalls a show source. But yeah, apparently it just sort of went downhill from there. Roiland began pulling away, increasingly uninterested in being in the room that had given him great joy only a season earlier. He had apparently a drinking problem as well. He was always doing, like, he was drunk when he was doing a lot of the voices, which is why when this story came out, I was like, it's not really a surprise. Like, behavior obviously changes when you're intoxicated. I can understand certain elements of that.
Right.
But yeah, so by season 3, Rick and Morty had hired its first batch of female writers, which didn't stop Roiland and others from doodling penis monsters and other vulgar characters on the office whiteboard.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't, should it, to be fair? As one show source recalls, Roiland could still be highly engaged and appropriately silly, though too often he was surly, petulant, uncommunicative, and grouchy. Like, he always wished he was doing something else. According to another show source, he was easily distracted too. The writers would regularly walk over to a Toys R Us where they would buy action figures or Nerf guns, and then he played with them the rest of the day, and we couldn't get any work done. What the fuck? Other show sources said he derailed pitches and interrupt with sophomoric non sequiturs like, "What if his brains were on the outside?" It reached a point where multiple sources say it was easier when Roiland wasn't in the room. That sounds like a combination of his drinking problem more than anything else.
Could be. Or it's just people who were not putting... I mean, again, it could be just mixing the wrong people together, too. Because, like, if it wasn't a problem before, now all of a sudden it is. Like, the whole thing that stuck out to me was, like, it didn't stop them from drawing, you know, penis monsters and stuff. It's like, yeah, I can see where people are complaining here. It's people who came into this expecting it to be a normal work situation, and it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it shouldn't, like... yeah, that's...
My point is we don't know if that was any different than it was before. Like that, maybe that's part of Roiland's creative process. You know, maybe it's his autistic way of saying, this is not fucking working. I need some creative, you know, energy here. Let's go over to Toys R Us. You know, like, which is not an uncommon thing. I've heard, you know, like a lot of guys who worked in like internet and stuff. I remember, like, you know, we'd do that kind of stuff all the time too. You'd be there for 12 hours doing something. Eventually just go like, you know what, let's go see a movie. You know, like, and we go see a movie or whatever, you know, it just out of nowhere, you know, sometimes that kind of shit happens. And again, I'm not condoning any of this behavior, but I'm kind of seeing it from both angles.
Well, they say here now about as we get up, I've skipped a few bits because it's just world building. It's not that interesting. It's just about his decline. And then we jump to the incident that occurred in the news. So the staff of Roiland's shows described feelings of disgust, fury, and betrayal as they waited on the fates of their series, which they were worried were now tainted. In the days immediately following the January 12th news reports, we didn't know if it would all go away, says a source. Then the situation snowballed with a raft of Roiland's deeply troubling online interactions being shared across social media. The reason that I posted
this, I think, is the bigger problem. Yeah, sorry.
Well, yeah. The reason that I posted my DMs was to add to the mountain of evidence and the pattern of behavior, tattoo artist Veronica Sweeney tells THR of the messages she released in which Roiland asked if she has a boyfriend and suggests that they meet at Comic-Con. Former Mad editor Gortz, who posted an exchange in which Roiland requested that she write a song about a crude sexual act, says that she also received pornographic gifts and propositions from him, telling THR, I really think that he, in a lot of ways, took advantage of someone who couldn't have been a bigger fan. I mean, if he knows that she's a fan, then yeah, he's taking advantage. Old interviews that Roiland had done were suddenly being resurfaced too. Back in 2011, appearing on a podcast, he joked that he would be attracted to a fucking 14-year-old that looks like she's 18 and has big titties. It's a bit off, isn't it, really? It's a bit off. And riffed on Dateline NBC's To Catch a Predator segments. In the same breath, he added, I'm not a paedophile, though. His work, which has long made comedy hay of subjects like incest and sexual deviance, was now being viewed through a different lens. So it's like, is he shrugging off his deviant behavior in terms of comedy, but that's actual truth behind it? Who knows? As the allegations and headlines accumulated, staff has wrestled with their association, desperate to telegraph that Roiland had not been meaningfully involved, save his voice renderings, for years. In fact, they barely knew the man. So basically just, I mean, like, it's pretty grotesque stuff.
I mean, again, like, yeah, a lot of that stuff I would never condone in the behavior, but some of it feels very overblown in a way. Again, I don't see, you know, you shouldn't take advantage of somebody who's like a fan or whatever. I see that position of it. But you notice that she said proposition, didn't necessarily say that he specifically tried anything and didn't send any pornography of himself, sent some pornographic gifts. Okay.
Yeah, true.
I mean, again, I'm not saying that's a good behavior.
Yeah, but I mean, look, so, but I mean, so if I was doing something like that, I would expect to be called out as being taken. Like if I was sending it to a subscriber and sort of proposition people, like I would expect to be called out as a certain element of not necessarily an abuse of power, because I don't think there's necessarily a power dynamic, but it would definitely be an element of taking advantage of someone. You are preying on someone that has a vested interest in you as an individual, and you're leveraging that to gain sex, I guess, like sexual gratification.
It's creepy, but I don't know if it steps over that line necessarily. Yeah, I don't
know. It happens all the time.
I would say it's predatory behavior to a certain degree. It's leveraging, you know, in a predatory fashion.
Yeah.
Go, right, well, I know I can get it from that. She's interested. I know where I stand in this. let me grab some puss. You know, so, to be very, very blunt about it.
But,
I know it's really crude.
Again,
Get my point, right?
Grab him by the puss. I like it when you do that.
Again, the problem with this is it's because of the other statements he's made. Again, I'm not condoning any of this. I'm not sticking up for him.
Isn't it? It's adding it all
but is it
together.
any different than a guy who buys a fucking Trans Am and all that kind of shit to get pussy? Really? I mean, at the end of the day, let's be real.
Are you comparing it to buying a car?
I'm not saying it's much different. What else do men usually use to get women's attention, especially if it's not their looks? Let's be real here. I'm not condoning it, but
women are not interested in cars, mate. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I was just saying it as an example.
Women couldn't give a fuck about cars.
Well, they don't. You don't know Americans, do you? Jesus Christ!
There's tons of videos on YouTube with people busting out gold diggers using cars.
Exactly, dude. I'm like, what fucking world do you live in, man?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, true.
The girl turns the guy down, and then he gets in the Lambo, and she's like, turns around and was like, "Hey, what is this? Your car? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm actually my plans mysteriously got canceled. You know."
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying and I'm not saying it's even comparable in a way, but it is in a sort of way. But again, it's bad mojo to do that with a fan, right? Like it's
Women do this kind of stuff too, but
it's called makeup.
Called out.
Dear. So yeah, I mean, just I thought we sort of cover that as an update.
The other statements though really pin him as a real creep though. Yeah. Like it makes you wonder.
Yeah, like 14-year-old that looks like an 18-year-old with big I mean, that's comments that you just like. The thing is, he's on a podcast, so he's saying it publicly. You've always got to remember, what do people say? You know, what does someone feel is appropriate to say publicly versus what they don't think is appropriate to say publicly.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta leave the locker room talk out of the public eye.
Well, my point is that he genuinely think that that's fine. So what does he think what does he think and feel in truth and reality that he doesn't say to the world? Because that's inappropriate and shouldn't be voiced anyway, right?
Well, and that's the thing. Was it something that was in jest? I wanted some more context. Again, I'm not trying to stick up for him, but like, you know, it comes along with the idea of there's certain things that you could take out of context that anybody says, that if it's a joke one way, but again, it's hard to pin a joke on what that comment could be possibly referring to. Like, again, I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to defend it.
It'll be really interesting to see what happens with this whole situation. I mean, we've got to wait like 2 more months, so it'll be fascinating to see the pre-trial and kind of what happens from there. But we got one more super chat, and then we got one more topic to cover. So Gary dropped in with £10. Says, "I'm so effed off about Constantine. What's the point in Elseworlds if you aren't keeping CW, Stargirl, and Constantine? I know Keanu was nothing like Constantine, but they could have said different universe." Well, apparently, Gary, my dude, if you rewind the stream, or wait for the highlight clip that'll be posted about this tomorrow, Constantine is on. Apparently, that was a misreport. I guess people sending rumors floating around. Who knows? But apparently, that's not the case, and Keanu Reeves is still going to be Constantine.
Yeah, they actually felt the need to officially comment on that, which is a rarity. I couldn't believe that when Paulie brought that EW story to us. I'm like, well, I guess that puts it to bed. I mean, because they have not been in the habit of confirming or denying anything when it comes to DC lately.
And they do that real quick.
Yeah.
You noticed that.
It was really quick. Well, it was only a matter of like 5 hours or so. That's pretty rapid for them to come out and do something. So final topic is one I'm actually really pleased about. So Severance actress, Dishin Lackman. I don't know how to say her name. I remember her from Altered Carbon as the sister, and I thought she was bloody great. She was also in Jurassic World, the last one, I think. She was in one of them anyway. But she's now joined Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and we've also got an element of the plot, I think, being revealed a little bit there. I think she's actually a really good actress. I really like her as an actress. I don't know about you guys. What do you know anything about this person? You've seen her before?
I don't know who she is.
You not watch Altered Carbon?
I've never seen it. I've never even heard of it.
Fucking
I've
hell.
seen her in stuff, but I haven't seen Altered Carbon.
No, Tom. Sorry, we got to rag on Nick for a little bit. Tom,
I ain't seen it either.
Oh, fuck you, Tom, as well.
What's
I haven't seen it.
What's it about?
I haven't seen it.
Fucking what?
It's about carbon that's altered. That's all I know.
Oh, are you
Is it on
joking? Are you actually
Netflix
for
or?
real? Paulie, have you not seen Altered Carbon either?
Nope.
Are you actually being?
Yeah, like who was in it?
This chick, evidently.
Joel
what's it on?
Kinnaman in the first one.
Maybe.
It's amazing. Oh my god!
I gotta look. I gotta look. Wait a minute.
I'm living in like.
No. I remember it being like a big deal.
It was amazing.
I've heard
It was
of
like
it, but...
Cyberpunk before Cyberpunk.
Remember people raving about it.
God, what is wrong with you all? Fucking hell! Watch season 1 of Old Carbon. You are letting me down here. How have you not?
Well,
watched
now I'm not
it?
gonna watch it just to spite you.
You're missing out. Yeah, you spite yourself. Then I don't care. I'll watch it.
Anthony Mackie, the Falcon.
He was in season 2. So basically, oh my god.
So it's on Netflix.
I cannot believe. Really? You're not. This isn't a bit, Paulie. If you actually not watched.
No. I've not seen Altered.
Wow. You have to watch season 1. You all have to watch season 1. Season 1's fantastic. It's really good.
Right. So you were saying with this actress? So don't care about this.
Well, I kind of care. I care about Planet of the Apes anyway. So let's get to that part of it. But I've been worried since Disney's the one behind it. Yeah. I don't know how else to say this right now because, sorry.
Right. Well, anyway, she's really good. She's really good in Altered Carbon. She's got a great element of physicality. She's really, really good. She's very, very good. Lots of depth and layers. Good actor. Anyway, she is now going to be in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I can't live in a fucking dreamland here. Anyway, Severance actress, I can't say her name, Dishon Blackman, is going ape.
Dishon
Blackman. Yeah, maybe. Who plays a key role opposite Adam Scott in the buzzy Apple TV show. Has joined the chest-thumping cast of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, 20th Century Studios' latest Planet of the Apes movie. I really liked Planet of the Apes. I think that's one of the best trilogies of late. I think, it's not one of the best trilogies of all time, but it's a very strong trilogy.
It's a decent update of the... I liked that they didn't just try and remake the originals. I liked that it was kind of a Elseworld version of 4 and 5 before, and that's about it.
More modern times.
Yeah, so the new Apes movie is set many years after the conclusion.
Those movies were boring, man.
Andre agrees with you, Paulie, but yeah.
The first one was okay, but then it just got like...
The second two are definitely completely different from the first one, for sure.
Which is funny because Matt Reeves directed the second two and Matthew
Vaughn
did
the
first
one?
one. Yeah, Matthew Vaughn did the first one, I think it was.
Interesting. There you go, Mr. Nate.
Well, and the weird thing about this is like supposed to be tangentially connected to that trilogy, but not. Like, what's the deal with this?
No, it is connected. It's set many years after War for the Planet of the Apes. It is. So many ape societies have grown.
But no Andy Serkis?
From when the Moses-like Caesar brought his people to an oasis, while humans have been reduced to a feral-like existence. So we're going very much Planet of the Apes now. But
it's
we're not
the
there
original
yet.
one, yeah.
It's not the original yet. It's not, because they did come out and do a statement on that. But they say some ape groups have never heard of Caesar, while others have contorted his teaching to build burgeoning empires. So it's the twisting of it, basically. In this setting, one ape leader begins to enslave other groups to find human technology. So this is our first plot, basically, reveal. While another ape who watched his clan be taken embarks on a journey to find freedom. A young woman becomes key to the latter's quest, although she has plans of her own. The screenplay is by Josh Friedman, Rick Jaffa, Amanda Silver, and Patrick Asen. That is a lot of people on. So
it's going to be a big slavery theme to it.
Yeah. I fucking hate this picture that keeps popping up. It's really annoying, just as an FYI. Shooting is underway in Australia with Freya Allen, Owen Teague, William H. Macy, and Kevin Durand. look at these visual effects. God, they're amazing. Among the key players, it is unclear who Dishan Daikun, whatever.
Someone, yeah, see somebody can play. Yeah, so it was Deacon or Deacon.
Yeah. The Kathmandu Nepal-born actress played Black Market Dinosaur Dealer. Yeah, so she was in Jurassic World Dominion. Look, I think she's great. Like, I'm well keen for this. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
I'm not looking forward to the big slavery theme going on here. Because it's not quite.
But it was all about bloody so. I mean, humans were
not
slaves.
with other apes, though. What the fuck is that all about? It was all about them enslaving the humans who could no longer communicate. Like,
wait, but you're getting to it, aren't you? You're building to it.
Yeah, enslaving other apes, though. That
I think that works. I think that is the natural progression from what occurred. Right? You have. It's not going to be uniformed factions of apes. They would all split off.
That I don't have a problem with, but
that's what they're doing. So they would obviously enslave one another. I mean, that is their vying for power.
It could go wrong, though. That's my worry, is the whole woke factor here, you know? Like, if this was 10 years ago, I'd be like, all right, cool, let me see what you got. Because I could see him doing some allegory with it and not making it so on the nose. Now the problem you have here is what mixed messages are we going to get because of woke bullshit?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that there's a certain element that this series lends itself to from a narrative factor where it makes sense to tell those stories.
In a way, yes.
Right? So I don't, I think it's important not to get hypersensitive to it just yet, because this series, this franchise, this lore does lend itself, because of the narrative, because of what you're actually telling, the elements of civilization being, birthed again, because that's what it is. It's a birth of a new civilization, an ape civilization. It does work to tell some of those stories. It's dependent on how heavy-handed they go with it, and how, depending on what modern day trope they choose to inject in it. It seems obviously it's a whammon, but we'll see, because it's not. It's a man and a woman. It's an ape plus a woman. Woman has her own plans. Ape is trying to, set his people free. So I think that sort of cancels itself out, a certain element. I don't know. What do you?
It almost seems like they're going the route of like the American Indians type deal, because there's several different tribes and groups, and several of them would enslave others, and they would all be fighting and attacking each other. They weren't all unified. There was different clans, and
maybe it could work.
If they go that way and kind of keep the woke on the nose, stuff like white people bad, slavery bad, like we don't really need to be told this stuff in movies today, then yeah, it could be work. It could work, but for me personally, it's like nowadays with movies and entertainment and stuff, it's like I feel like I need to wait till reviews come out and people that I know have similar tastes as me to see what they say before I know if it's going to even be worth my time watching.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's what Tom said about Ant-Man, anyway. As well.
No, it's probably the best way to look. I agree with that, Nick. Like, I mean, again, I'm not trying to be knee-jerky about it, but because I do like this franchise. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Planet of the Apes. I'm a big fan of the original franchise.
Originals. And,
I didn't, obviously, like most people, I didn't like the Burton one, but I was pleasantly surprised by the newer trilogy. And Matt Reeves let me down with the Batman, but he's not attached to this, and I don't know anything about these new people involved. And that's the thing, is I knew sooner or later you'd have to get to something similar to the original film, but I don't know, maybe. I mean, then again, I haven't seen Prey yet, but I've heard a lot of people say good things about it, so who knows? If this is put on by that other little section of Fox that's doing their own little thing, who knows? Maybe it's all right. I'm just worried with Disney.
True. I like Prey. I had good things. Good things about Prey. Quite liked it. Well, Paulie, what do you think about this, good sir?
Pass. I'm just not interested.
You would be if you watched Altered Carbon.
What? What?
Why not? Why are you not interested?
Sure. I don't know. It's just, There's nothing to that the description of the story sounded awful. Like, all right, hasn't that always been the thing with all these Planet of the Apes things? That they someone gets captured, someone gets thrown in ape prison, then they gotta break out of ape prison, and then they're gonna go fight each other. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I like the first one. I like the one from the 70s. I even like Marky Mark a little bit. That was a tragic mess. And that's it.
Okay.
And I don't know who this chick is. I'm sure she's great. I mean, you seem to like her a lot.
Yeah, I would genuinely go watch Alter Carbon.
Right. I want to watch Alter Carbon.
The season 2 is not so good, but Alter Carbon season 1 good. She's very good in that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what she's obviously doing in this one. But yeah,
maybe Paulie wants to talk about Magic Mike's Last Dance opening up this weekend.
I mean, it is Salma Hayek, so
she is in it.
She's in it a lot. So
she's in a lot, is she?
Yeah, she's the lead. Like, dancing.
God, that fucking Magic Mike.
Are you and Romy gonna go see it this weekend?
No. We're probably gonna go see Knock on the Cabin.
Would recommend. Good film.
Yeah. So
decent.
She doesn't like that. She would never see a movie like that.
I tried watching Knock in the Cabin. It was like an hour, maybe hour and a half into the movie. I realized I was watching Knockin' in the Cabin, which is a totally different movie.
Your Google search pulled up the wrong movie.
Well, I was enjoying it, and then I'm like, wait, ain't Dave Bautista supposed to be in this? This is like, after a few of the sex scenes, I was involved. So
get involved, is he?
Well, Knockin', it's a joke.
No, I know the lotion had come out and all that. Yeah, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah.
Then you got the 53-year-old Jennifer Lopez in Shotgun Wedding.
Well, it took me about 3 hours to watch those 90 minutes, but
yeah, of course. In sections, yeah.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I'm kidding, of course. Of course, now I created that gives the world what its porn parody is going to be. Sorry, Mr. H, you're going to wrap it up.
No. I was literally just going to say, I think that about wraps it up for one day. Literally no other topics. Do we? Where?
Yeah, let me send it to you. Oh, no, that's not it. Dang it. Hold on.
Don't send me more of your...
It's from Larry. Hold on.
Larry Quadowitz, is it?
There you go.
Yep.
Larry Quadowitz, member for 18 months, supporter level 2. Are you guys excited for the new Swamp Thing? Looks like it will be horror. Speaking of horror mistakes, what are your thoughts on how Jackie Earle Haley was as Freddy? So am I excited for Swamp Thing? No, not until they announce a director, because a director of Swamp Thing will be, and the writer will be very, very telling. So not excited yet. I think just announcing a film doesn't conjure up excitement anymore. It could go so many different directions without any writer or director attached. So no, not excited. Has it perked my ears? Slightly. Do you guys share that sentiment? Or
I was never a big Swamp Thing fan. I mean, if it came out and got rave reviews by people that I trust, and they're like, "You definitely got to see this," I would check it out. But I've never been a big Swamp Thing guy.
Okay, Paulie.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
So you're excited?
Thing. Yeah.
Okay. Even though it could go either way.
Right. But I like the monster stuff. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Okay, Tom. I bet you're excited. Salivating. He's so excited. He's disappeared. Look. There you go.
He went away.
Well, anyway, what do I think?
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. So I was like, for Swamp Thing, man, yeah, it's all right. Maybe it'll be fun. It's like the one I'm least worried about of all. What was the question? I guess I missed it.
Are you excited for it? And I was like, well, no.
No,
without a
really.
writer or a director attached, can go either way. So
that's what I'm saying. Like at this point, but it's also not one I'm like worried about either. So, like,
yeah, makes sense.
Unless you really, like, it looks like James Mangold might be attached to it, but that's just internet rumor bullshit.
Well,
so.
he's good. I'd like him to be attached.
Nope.
He's a good director.
Someone in the Larry just said Guillermo del Toro.
Nah, you know what you're getting with that too much. I think it'd be good, but you know what you're getting with it. And I'd like to see someone else do something different.
I mean, he's actually, they're going to go into production for Frankenstein, like in a few months. So maybe you're confusing that monster.
I think maybe he's just saying I would like him to do it. I don't know.
Oh, no, he said I heard Del Toro might direct.
Oh, yeah, it's probably just...
No,
if Del Toro were to direct it, that'd be neat, but it'll never happen, probably.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing Frankenstein.
Well, there's that, and he's got 5 other projects that he's announced that he hasn't got to yet, too.
Right. Who? Is it? I think he has the Gael Garcia Bernal to be the doctor. He's the guy who played the werewolf at Werewolf by Night. That lead actor.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know if anyone's seen Werewolf by Night.
Haven't, but I heard good things.
Oh, it's really good. So that same actor.
Oh, I'm not interested, mate. Couldn't give a shit. Not interested. Just like you and I.
Alter Caban.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night was actually really good. I liked it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Planet of the Apes, boring.
Miss H, what are your thoughts on how Jackie Earle Haley was as Freddy Krueger? I thought he was a good Freddy Krueger. I don't think that they did right by Freddy Krueger, but I think he made a good Freddy Krueger.
You know what's funny about that whole situation? Because I'm a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan. It's like when I heard they were rebooting it, I'm like, nope. And then I'm like, Michael Bay's rebooting it. Nope. And they're like, Jackie Earle is playing Freddy. Wait, what?
he makes a good Freddy, but it was a shit story.
He had nothing to work with. Poor guy. Yeah. Nothing. And they made him look like a salamander.
Oh,
like,
God,
what is that about? Like, my buddy at the movie theater, the moment that scene coming, he's like, I was just petting him. And when he killed the dog, my friend's like, he's like, dude, I am out. Fuck this shit. He's just like, well, we got to finish it now. But like, yeah, it's sorry to say.
Yeah. We've got a super chat from Gary as well. £10 says, the reason I was mad is because people were gloating about it being cancelled because Keanu was nothing like Constantine, but they were okay with the gender swap in Sandman. Yeah. Well, you don't need to worry because apparently it's not cancelled, basically, my dude. So there's no other two ways about it. I agree, though. Yeah, the gender swap was it was done, but apparently it's not nothing you need to worry about. Because
I heard the gender swap according to Andre, was partially because of licensing.
Yeah, probably.
That's what he said.
I can imagine it is. Anyway, ladies and gents, we're going to wrap up this show now. If you aren't already, please do hit subscribe to Miss H Reviews Live Archives. It's the second channel. It's in the description box, and it's where these streams get chopped up into the highlights and the best bits. Everyone's channel is linked in the description box. So we've got Paulie from the Latino Slant. We've got Nick from Echo Base Network. We've got Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge After Dark. Check them out as well. Guys, what have you got coming up? Paulie, anything?
God, busy, man. Busy. Midnight tonight, probably 9 a.m. Greenwich time. It's going to be a suffer-along watch party. If you're up, come and watch the final episode of National Treasure with me.
Oh, that bad?
Yeah. But I've been having fun reviewing it. I've never
stopped. Paul Chatto said it was not a good National Treasure show, but he said it was a decent show overall. Like,
didn't he say the first episode?
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, you might be right. Yeah.
And then got some fun stuff this week. So make sure you're subscribed to all of us.
Excellent. Nick, what do you got coming up? A chill stream?
Coach and I are actually streaming tonight to cover some recent YouTube drama / gatekeeping.
What drama?
Did you say gatekeeping?
Yeah. So there's a YouTuber that has attacked us in the past who used to be one of our subscribers / followers.
Who is it?
Stephanie Janisek.
Who's that?
She's just a small YouTuber. She's kind of
Just a small
talks Star
YouTuber.
Wars.
Just small.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, but she kind of went after Valiant, Renegade, and WDW Pro, and a lot of people
Why?
are asking because of some news that they got from a source, and I know the source, but I can't say the source. But they told us behind the scenes where they got this information.
Obviously, you can't.
Yeah,
Of course.
Come on.
but they talked about news of Rey coming back. Disney basically bringing Rey back and pairing Rey with Grogu, Chewbacca, R2, and another Mandalorian that they have not named yet. Instead of retconning the sequels, and
I mean,
this
you
is
just
the direction.
sound so silly saying that, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So
is that really happening?
I'm so glad I didn't cover this shit because I would not take that seriously.
Yeah, so there's some stuff in the works, and I'm sure probably Tom might have heard some of this stuff.
A little bit, but I'm curious as to how much of it's true, and the other part of it's I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's kind of in developmental stages right now. They're putting out feeler stuff and getting artwork from people and getting some stuff made up kind of behind the scenes, but apparently they're looking at moving that in that direction because they crunched the numbers and was basically saying that it's going to be too expensive to retcon everything and get rid of the sequels, but they know that the sequels did not go over well with a lot of the fans. And
what game that idea? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Goodness me. Astute observations from Disney there, right?
Yep.
Well, sorry you're going through some drama with Steph. I like Steph. She's a friend of mine. But
yeah, she was a friend of ours.
That's drama. She's even one of our mods. Yeah, I was gonna say. So sadly,
yeah, she was a friend of ours too till she attacked us and
Steph.
told people to unsubscribe from our channel because she didn't agree with something we said.
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't care. I've got no vested interest in this. Don't die, Steph. I don't know who you are. I don't give a fuck.
Let this be a lesson to you.
Who? Me?
I don't know. I was just saying you in the chat.
Don't start drama.
Yeah. So pretty much we're just addressing the drama. We're not starting any drama. We're just addressing.
Italian ranch.
Yeah.
What's the name? Who is it?
Leave her alone.
Stephanie Janicek. Smuggler's Cantina is her YouTube channel. If you guys want to check her out, I mean, even when she attacked us,
what are you doing? No.
Even when she attacked us, we told people, "Hey, go subscribe to her, man. We're not gonna."
I did not.
She came after us.
I did not condone that checking out of someone's channel. Don't do it.
No, definitely not live. Not right now. And with that,
do it. Tom, what you got coming up?
Mead in about 40 some minutes here or so. Yeah. We're going to talk about Harrison Ford kind of confirming more of the de-aged Indy in the film. And we get his lovely, funny quote that makes you... It's a sweet old man quote. Basically, he doesn't understand how deep fake works. So he's like, hey, they use me, but it's old young me. It's not really, yeah.
You got any pot?
Yeah, where's my pot?
Yeah, goodness me. Yeah, he doesn't really understand it, does he?
It's just kind of funny. But it's like more confirmation of flashbacks and or at least what we figured being time travels.
Yeah. I have got.
What do you have, Mr. H?
So again, I deleted my Instagram, so follow me over on Twitter at Mr. H Reviews. We're at a bit of a slump with movies at the moment. Like I said, I am reviewing much more movies. We did The Menu here on the Hcast, quick review there. Did Knock at the Cabin, but there is a bit of a slump now until more movies drop, and of course the next reasonable film to drop is Ant-Man, which I'll obviously watch opening night. I don't have anything major coming up, to be perfectly honest. I'm putting together another, What's Next 4, which was a, it was like a miniature sort of docu sort of thing, which I did on Hellraiser, What's Next for the Hellraiser franchise. I'll be putting together another one of them. And that's realistically it, to be fair. I'm currently deep in prep for a bodybuilding contest in June 10th. So you'll slowly see my face whittle away, and I'll end up looking quite sick, to be honest. I won't look very good. So yeah, but that's fun. That's just what happens when you get super, super lean. You don't look good. So I'm in prep for that, which is taking up
everybody's
a
going to
reasonable
think
amount
you're
of
like
time.
getting sick, huh? And we'll get all the rumors.
Yeah. Well, they'll just see you can see my arm, a bit more vascularity popping through. There's 2 veins in my arm which weren't there before. So slowly whittling it away. So yeah, just doing that really. Not a whole lot else really. Not much
the pain part of the pain and gain.
No, diet's not that bad, to be fair. It's just
Really?
the hunger it's just the hunger that gets you. Like when you wake up when you wake up and you're like, oh, like your stomach.
Well, you're saying this to a fat kid now, so this is a pain.
Well, yeah. When your stomach's eating itself, that's not very nice. But you get used to it eventually.
I did a
cardio is quite easy.
I did a 32-day water fast, and it wasn't plain water. It was water with pink salt and potassium in it.
Why would you do that?
It was rough. But after the first 10 days or so, I was good. I mean, I was out mowing the grass, doing yard work, had tons of energy, slept better, lost 56 pounds in 32 days.
Wow, oh, that's a significant
almost
amount.
Too much, too fast.
Yeah.
Well, I felt great.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Did you put it back on at all? Are you still kept? Are you
still it took like a year for me to put it back on. But
you're
always going to put it back on if you go back to old habits.
Should have done a year water fast, man. Come on now.
Oh, good God. I couldn't have gone that
long. Yeah, you'd be dead.
Me and Mexican Iron Man are going to
I sadly can't do crazy diets anymore, but yeah.
We're going to a tactical training class at the end of this month, so I'm actually doing it intermittently the rest of this month of February.
Hydrate.
Are we still live? Zachary Bloom's right. Time to cut.
Yep. No, he means time to cut weight.
You guys want to know what we're talking about? No, I know. I'm just saying. But you guys want to know what we talk about after the show? This is kind of what it's like, basically. Yeah. Just every day.
Shooting the shit.
Yeah.
How's your mom?
So literally nothing major coming up, to be honest. One of my a car that I have been sort of sat on for a year and a half now comes over to the country next month, so I can't wait for that. I'm really excited for that. That's my dream.
Get a lowrider now.
No.
Get a lowrider, Holmes.
No. That'd be cultural appropriation. Everyone will call me racist.
Don't worry, you're Latinx.
I am, Paulie. Thank you for recognizing my Latinx culture. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Here's the way I see it. I don't see you should be in trouble if you're white or whatever and get a lowrider and get it all tricked out and everything. The problem should be is if you didn't get it tricked out by, authentic Mexicans. That's where I think the problem should lie in, right?
But it's dependent.
You have to have it done right, exactly.
Right, yeah. This is true.
I don't know if Paulie agrees with that, but
and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe artwork. Maybe the artwork.
Yeah, the carpeting, the detailing, all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Make it authentic.
Authentico.
Authentica.
Can you hear Sadie? She's got to go out.
Cholo, Polly. Yes, I'm turning you into. Do you know? Say the word cholo for us, Nate.
Me?
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly. Sorry.
Let's say cholo.
Cholo.
You did that on purpose, Paulie.
That's fucking accent's the best.
Look now, don't be racist. All right, to my Latinx heritage. Okay, don't do it.
He's earned the right.
Burns are right.
All right. Don't do it. Right, anyway, ladies and gents, thank you so much for listening to this 10 minutes of pure bollocks.
Nonsense.
I said nonsense.
I gotta go. You're like,
you're the one still talking nonsense as well. You like to say cholo.
Yeah, say cholo. Come on.
Yeah.
That was funny though. I'm gonna clip that.
Are you? Yeah.
I refuse to say cholo.
Right. Anyway,
I love
thank you so much. Take care, ladies and gents. Peace out. Thursday stream. Let's go.
See you guys.
Hasta la vista, baby.